Welcome to Kranky Live Sports Talk, where passion meets action.
Hey sports fans, I am Kranky, and this is the Kranky Live Sports Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the hottest topics, the biggest games, and the most controversial moments in sports.
Whether it's football, basketball, track and field, cricket, or soccer, we've got you covered with expert analysis, insider interviews, and unfiltered opinions.
Join me as I chat with the biggest names in sports, get exclusive insights and stories you won't hear anywhere else.
Kranky Live Sports Talk is where you can hear the real talk, the hard-hitting questions, and the hottest takes.
So, if you're a true sports fanatic, you don't want to miss out? Subscribe now to the Kranky Live Sports Talk on YouTube and hit that bell icon to never miss an episode.
Kranky Live Sports Talk, where sports come alive. Subscribe today.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. Okay. Can you guys hear me now? I don't know if you can hear me. I was talking, but talking to myself. It was muted, by the way. You guys can hear me. No audio now? You must give no audio? Really? Let me see something. No, it should be good now, actually. Tell me if you can hear me now. Good now? Okay. Apologize for that. I was rushing to get this starting on time. I should have delayed it by 15 minutes. I was having some challenges here, but hopefully I worked through all these technical challenges. But thanks for being here. It's good being here. We're going to talk about a few things tonight. And by the way, we know the routine when you come in, so don't let me be miserable. I won't even mention what the routine is. Just do what you need to do. We're going to talk about the team and the prospects for the team. They're playing Cuba tomorrow, so you need to go to the National Stadium. What's it, 7 o'clock game? 7 o'clock Jamaica time, I think. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. I should check before I say it. I'll open my mouth and say that, because I did check. I think it was 7 o'clock US time I'd seen, but let me go back and check. It's on Paramount in the US. So let me just make sure I have it correct. It is 8 o'clock actually. So 7 o'clock Jamaica time. So I was right the first time. 7 o'clock Jamaica time, 8 o'clock US time. So we'll talk about that. But before we get into that, there was a pre-game press conference today, which I'll play. I wanted to play the video, but I messed up something. So I'll play the recording with a picture, actually. I prefer to normally play the video. You can see the whole thing. But before that, we'll talk a little bit about also an article that was in the Star. I don't like to bring up articles in Stars. You know, Stars are always very tabloid type newspapers, but I'm going to bring this up because they quoted members from the JFF. And then we'll talk a little bit about something I brought up the other day, which I got some pushback on, which is around the coach saying, if you're born in the UK, then yeah, it's right. You should play for the UK. And we'll talk about that. And I'll play what he says versus what was said by Pinnock, right? So I won't start off with the press conference. I'll start off with the comments first about, I call it recruiting. Then we'll talk about what I feel the difference between what Pinnock says and the coach says. Then I'll play the press conference. If you don't want to hear the press conference, let me know, because I know it's been played on other channels. And then we'll spend a lot of time talking about the team, potential formations like we normally do, the same recurring thing. And it was interesting because today I got a text from one of my work colleagues. Hope she's not watching. And she says, we doing some catch up. She was sending me a picture of her adopted son, who is Haitian, for us my age. And he's a big soccer player, and she's Caucasian, by the way. And they live out in Illinois, and she takes me around the country to play football. He's living a very privileged life, I would say. And he's a very good athlete, actually. If you start running track, he's always either coming in the top 3 or 4. It's about, how old was he now? About 13? I get my ages mixed up. And he was taking a shot and he looked brilliant. And then she said, "Oh, how's your channel going?" Because I've been very cautious about providing my channel to people I used to work with, right? Because we do get excited on these channels, and I'm trying to maintain a certain, because I want people to say, "Well, I cannot believe that this was an executive in our company." No, don't worry about content, Paul. I don't put any content that I'm not supposed to put in. It may not be my content, but nobody now cancel me. I mean, I play other people's content unless it's JFF content. And if it's JFF content, I must have gotten some perspective that I can play it, right? So yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I try not to do that. And by the way, people, I do ask people permission. I told you guys yesterday. I asked Minzy, was it yesterday, day before yesterday? I asked Mindy and JD, for example, can I play stuff that they play on their channel? And even though they give me yes in writing, I would still call them and ask them before I actually do it, right? That's how I operate. People, it's 28 people, 28 likes and 54 in the chat. That doesn't work for me. So I continue my conversation. So she then says yes, and I said yes. And then I got a text later on from one of my former Fred colleague. I mention Persuasion. He's from Vietnam. And he says, she says, "Oh, myself and XYZ have just subscribed to your channel." And I did check. Both of them did subscribe. And then he texts me, where is it? And he says, "I watched some of the videos. Yup, it is so you." So maybe the reason why I'm mentioning that, maybe my corporate way I operated was no different from how I operate on this channel, which is scary, actually, when I think about it, given some of the contentious discussion we have had. But I guess I was a little bit challenging in corporate too, if he thinks that. And he's the nicest person ever. We're brilliant. We got along brilliant in corporate. But please hit the like button, people. 65 of you, 30-something likes. Come. Why, people? I see him thing every week, see him thing every day, every week, every minute. And then Claudia, want to give me a hard time about how miserable I am when you guys just having difficulty hitting the like button. Please use your thumb and hit the like button. I'm going to be miserable with that, actually. Because I keep telling you, everyone, that I was going to say you people, but that may not sound right. I keep telling everyone that I do spend a lot of time trying to prepare for these discussions. And I just ask you to hit the like button when you come in, because I'm sure you're going to like the content. That's why you're here. If you didn't like it, you wouldn't come back. Bless up Sherman, bless up Caribbean, bless up Chorus, Paul, Jeremiah, Eagle, Kieran, or is it Kieran? I feel for you. If you're supporting Chelsea, I do empathize and sympathize with you. I'm sure it'll get better. I have no idea when. Farut, who's been here the first, thank you. Bessa, thank you for being here. So let me touch upon the recruiting first, and then we'll jump into what I call is the delta, or the difference between what I heard from the coach and what I heard from Pinnock. And then we will go to the press conference, which should take about, I think it's just over 20 minutes. And I'll play the whole thing, and then we'll dissect it, because I think there are things in there we should really talk about. And I think Cataract actually, I listen to the press conference about 2 or 3 times, people, because I'll make sure I digest everything that's said and dissect it and bifurcate it and whatever you want to call it in terms of splitting it. So, and then we will talk about the team. Bless up, Jagams. Thanks for joining. So there was an article in the Star, and I read the article quickly, even though, I won't read the entire thing, but I read key excerpts from the article. And it says, according to Jamaica Football Federation, and you guys, a lot of you who follow the football would have heard this already, but I think you need to, sometimes I try to put a different spin on it, right? According to Jamaica Football Federation, 4 overseas-based players on their recruitment list, including Mason Greenwood, currently have their documents being processed by the Passport, Immigration and Citizen Agency, acronym PICA, and it expects them to be completed in a timely fashion. I don't know what that means, people, because some of the documents have been there for a little while. I can tell you that. And I've said this before. Sometimes you get information, you know information, you're told to keep it in confidence, so you just sit on it, and it may be bugging you to sit on it, but you should, because you were asked to. But anyway, let's keep going. It says, since the appointment of Steve McClaren as Reggae Boyz coach, the Federation has stepped up its recruitment drive for overseas-born professionals with Jamaican heritage. McClaren told a press conference recently that the Federation presented him with a list of targets that he'll be conversing with when he gets back. And that was the last press conference he had when he talked about this, right? Which when he came back subsequently and says, I'm going to put in my own words, I'm only going to focus on players over 25, 26, whatever numbers, or in their late 20s, because they're the ones who probably don't want to play for England anymore. But we'll get into that. And people would say, Kranky, that's what he said. That's what he said. Trust me. 50 likes, 91 watching, doesn't work. The Star of Sports also understands that apart from Greenwood, who the JFF has been targeting for Jamaica's senior men's national team for years, well, they may have been targeting for years, but it wasn't realistic until what happened in 2022 happened, because he was in the England team, not the squad. He was in the England team. Well, I should say the squad, but he was 19 and in there like Foden was. He's that valued. The list includes Reece Nelson, who's now at Fulham, Morgan Gibbs-White, who we will not be getting because he's not in the England team, or England squad, I should say. Bournemouth's Max Aarons, who we've been talking about for years. Ben Godfrey, who was my understanding when he was 15, wanted to play for Jamaica, and we told him he wasn't good enough, like we told Sterling, like we told Antonio, just like we told Calvin Phillips. We're good at that. And just like we told Raheem Sterling. So we have a lot of talent on the island, and these players weren't good enough when they tried to get in the Jamaica team. I'm being sarcastic, people. So don't lose it. And Ben Godfrey is now at Serie A club at Atalanta, having been sold by Everton there. And Newcastle's Isaac Aiden, who we've been chasing for God knows how long. I think it's time I hate to say this, Isaac, and I've seen some information, and I think you're a good person, you're at Arsenal, but you have this view that you're making England team. I think, no, you probably finally gave up. Those instances, I probably would move on. I know some people are going to like me saying that. I probably would move on. I've been chasing you forever. You had no chance to play for England, but you still thought you did. Your prerogative. You're born there. Their documents are actually with PICA, and we have asked respective. I didn't know Isaac documents were at PICA. Really? Interesting. I don't think that Isaac's documents are at PICA. I'm just saying. Their documents are actually here with PICA, and we have asked respective government ministries to expedite the process, and that is being done right now. You guys are saying Isaac of PICA. I heard Tyreek Mitchell was in Jamaica last year, a year ago, doing his papers. I don't know what happened with that one. The others are interesting. I think some of them were trying to wait for England, but realized that's probably a lost cause. But so they're gonna probably make a switch. I think others like Godfrey had tried. I think Reece is a more new pursuit more recently. Yeah, that's an interesting one, people, because Sterling was bought by Liverpool at what, 16 in the starting team just when he turned 17. I think it's the starting team he went the team at March. I think he's born December. So what age was that? What I have to laugh. Those are the coaches we have in Jamaica with their brilliant assessment of talent. If you can broke somebody and put between them, like, good. Even that's not working nowadays because the coach keep talking about. We're gonna get into it. I'm gonna jump now. We're gonna get into that. He says, I'm not in a position to give timeline. PICA said to us that they are working on the documents and in reasonable time the passport will be ready. What does that mean? Bless up RNR, Real Madrid, big deal, know yourself. Everyone, thanks for joining. People, please hit the like button when you're coming, man. Jesus, I'm a stingy 105 and 66. I watch this thing like a hawk, right? Because that's the only way other people watch the stream. And by the way, me very transparent to people. I tell them everything. Before we finish, I'm telling them everything. It says, meanwhile, in the press conference to announce the squad for this first official game against Reggae Boyz against Cuba, McClaren revealed that he knows the players well and will be trying to persuade them to join Jamaica, except the one of them who, in belief, can play for England. We'll get to that. We want the best players that can be done. This is just about him talking about XYZ, right? And he said Rudolph Speed had given him a list of potential targets. He's going to target them. That's what he said the last time. So nothing new in the article apart from the fact that the same recurring people. I don't hear any names. Some names I'd like to hear, like Dwight McNeil. I haven't heard that name. The kid that plays for Southampton on the right, Kyle Walker-Peters. I haven't heard that name. Those are names I want to hear. I want to hear. I mean, if I hear Godfrey and Hayden and Holgate, that's fine. But I want difference makers. All right? I want difference makers. Max Aaron's good player, but he plays where Lembekisa play. Right? He plays where Hardin play. I want Tyreek Mitchell, We already have 2 left back. He's a good player. Is he much better than Maribel and Greg Lee? I'm not so sure. I know he plays for Crystal Palace. And by before you start saying Kranky, we talk about, I know all these players. I want Dwight McNeil to play the 8. I want Coward Peters to play the inverted and play the right back. That's what I'm looking for. Go pursue those people. And Dwight and Walker Peters are getting up there in age, so he fits the profile the coach thinks we should pursue. Right? So that was it for that. And I do think, I'm glad that the JFF, bless up GMG, 1-1. I'm glad that the JFF and Andre Moore, I'm glad the JFF is very open-minded about pursuing these players. So JFF, really, you want to work up JFF finally? And you hear me get mad I said mad, perturbed on Wednesday about Paul Young's perspective, the fact that we keep bringing these players and we haven't achieved our ultimate goal. I found that interesting, Paul, and very noble and big of you. But we don't want your opinion because it don't matter. They give us the better chance to win, and that's what we're focused on. We're not focused on you and in your feelings about JPL players, because JPL players are in the team. And as I said before, if you have JPL players in your team, you have an issue. You know why? Because in most countries, they don't have local players in the team. Because when you're good enough, you go overseas to make money for you and your family. So if you're local, unless you're a young youth like Reed, for example, you should not be in the national team, because then it says something about your national team. Unless you're somebody who was a gem and people didn't discover you and they found you late, that's a different story. But if you're telling me that you're 25, 26 and you're JP in the national team, I'm saying, why aren't you overseas playing, making real money? Because JPL don't play any money. Is he really? He's more versatile than Pinnock. He can play right back, but is he really? I've watched him for Everton for years now. Both he and Holgate were there for a while. I love Dwight McNeil. I can see that ball dropping on Antonia's head, on Nicholson's head, and going in the goal with his pinpoint crosses. As you hear the coach mention things which are, what do you call it? Must have, or things which everyone has to do, you have to buy into. They're mandatory, which is you got to play defense, you got to run, you got to play for each other. So I'd love to see Dwight McNeil because he does that. That's why Sean Dice have him. That's why he plays great, replaced great in the Everton team. And I think he can play the 8, even though he's not naturally a winger most times. We need 3 good midfielders. Yeah, we need midfielders. Non-negotiable is the term. Exactly. I said mandatory, but non-negotiable, which I buy into. Yes, I think we should get McNeil, Real Madrid. I think his energy is contagious. His ability on the ball is good. His crossing is ridiculous. I think with him and Gray linking up the left side with Amari Bell or Greg Lee, that left side be well situated. And I think that his name, if he actually has Jamaican heritage and parentage or has what's required, then I'm not sure why we haven't pushed him around, because he's not getting to the England team. No, I didn't want him to be a winger. I want him to be an 8. I don't want him to be a winger. Gray's out there already. Or we put Nelson out there. I don't want to be a winger. I want to be an 8. We need an 8 with energy and can keep the ball and is a brilliant cross, put the ball in the box. We need an 8. He'll go down the wing. He'll interchange with Gray and go down the wing and cross the ball to my 2 big center forwards, even though I only want one of them playing. So yeah. So that's my comments on the recruiting component. Now let me get to something I want to talk about, which is, you heard me when Minzy was here with me. I think it was on Tuesday, and I expressed my concern about what the coach says. Right, I'm gonna play it again. What the coach says. This is not the new press conference. This is the old one where I had a clip from what he says, and then I'll play what Pinnock said, actually, which is about recruiting players who are born in the UK that have Jamaican heritage, right? And then we dissect it. I mean, the guys, know if you can hear this.
The A part A to that question, could you share with us as much as you could, your talks and negotiation with either of those players? It's no problem if we fail, but what was the effort that was made? You could tell us that. And outside of that, if you could just update us on the progress with other key EPL heritage players, the likes of Tyreek Mitchell, Kyle Walker-Peters, Max Aarons. as much as you can. I know this talks as a lot of times private.
I think it's simple, and I try to keep everything simple. In one respect, you're right. It's about recruitment, looking at heritage players on one side. And it's difficult because on the list that I have, about 50 names. But many of them are 23, 24 and under. Good young players. And their ambition, as they're born in England, is to play for England. And that is right. So it's very, very difficult to recruit them type of players. So we're looking at more mature players who come to that point of, okay, I may not play for England, but there's an option. So that's what we look at. And I spoke to many of the younger players as well. And yeah, the likes of Cadamarteri, the likes of Hutchison, and they're good enough to wait for England and think they're good enough. That's fantastic attitude. So that, on one respect, recruitment of heritage players is difficult. But on the other respect, and what I've seen with the 14s, with the Cavaliers and with Mount Pleasant, is the quality of the Jamaican players is improving. So that's the key, is that we have to improve our players on the island. We have to improve the league. We have to improve the competition. We have to.
So no one disagrees with that concept, right? That perspective that we have to improve to compete on the global stage. But what he basically says is that they're born there, and yes, they should play for England. That's what he said. There is no ambiguity in that statement. Now let me play what Pinnock, and let me say something, people, before I do this. We have this thing that we're fighting amongst ourselves about who's a real Jamaican and not a real Jamaican, right? We have a problem as a people. And I talk to some people in Jamaica sometimes, in senior positions sometimes, and I get the view when I talk to them that they believe the only real Jamaicans are those on the island. Not only you born there, but you live there. So if you migrated, you're not really real anymore. And the view that people in diaspora are arrogant, think they know everything, and want to control the football and want to control the island, whatever they get into, which is so far from the truth. Bless up, DJ, which is so far from the truth. It's not even close to reality. People just want to contribute to the island because they love the island, they love the country, they grew up there. It built their foundation for them, for those who migrated probably early and for those who were there late. It defines who they are as people and help them to improve, develop, and give them the foundation and the formula to help them be successful when they migrate from the island. And that's why a lot of people who migrate from the Caribbean and Jamaica do really well when they migrate, because they have developed that indomitable spirit and that attitude and that perspective that allow them to do well in the environment they're going to. And the educational foundation, even though we have challenges because we do lose a lot of our intellectual capital through migration, teachers, nurses, whatever, is well situated, allows you when you go someplace else, at least you have the fundamental to do well and to know how to navigate your way, right? Those things are without question. So I'm not sure why we have this, why we keep on having this divisiveness. Because I give some example. Elise, who just went to Bayern, he was born in England, but he played for the France junior team and he played for France in the Olympics because his mom is French. Declan Rice and Grealish both played for Ireland up until under 21. In fact, Rice played friendly games for the Ireland national team. I'm sure Hugginson would love to have both of them down. And they both now play for England, right? The kid from Bayern, I know his name was eluding me, was born in Germany, went to England, played for the junior team, and then went back to Bayern and went and played for Germany. His name is eluding me now. The youngster, brilliant youngster, right? So you have and I'm just giving you an example in Europe. I'm not talking about Africans like Iwobi and Lookman and those players who are born in the UK and then go play for Nigeria. Obi Mikel at a young age, because you have your attitude about people who are older and want to play, right? I'm just talking about people who make decisions based on their heritage. So let me play what Pinnock says, because I think this is very important. and listen to what he says. Musiala, thanks a lot. Listen to what he says versus what the coach said. You guys can hear it.
Yeah, but beforehand, I think for a lot of players, they're maybe not sure what the best.
And Manning's man started asking the question, the similar question that Cataract asked the coach about heritage players, right? This is his answer to the question about heritage players and who you want to play for.
Best route to go about trying to.
I'm gonna start it over.
Yeah, but beforehand, I think for a lot of players, they're maybe not sure what the best route to go about trying to even represent in the first place. I think there are, like you said, obviously certain players that ideally, they're looking to try and play for England. But I think it depends on the individual. Some players are more, more into their heritage and want to represent their mother country, and so. But yeah,
if they are really.
So you hear what he said there, right? It's based on the individual. In fact, management was asking him about himself. He didn't know the process, which is another thing, people. So many kids have no idea what I need to do to become a citizen. And this thing all ties together, people. I'm not sure if you guys are realizing this is all interconnected. They're not mutually exclusive. Me being 15 as Godfrey, probably 16 as Antonio, young as Sterling, right? Saying I want to play for Jamaica, you tell me no. When I may turn out to be a really good player, but you kick me to the curb. Or you having a quota system where I have like 14 players I see who want to come play, and you telling them no and come with the excuse that they couldn't get released when that's not the case. Only one from Derby couldn't. So then they get discouraged and go play wherever they want to play for, and they probably don't want to come back, right? Calvin Phillips want to play. You guys say, no, you go play for England and star, right? That's what happens. If you bring these players in, doesn't mean they will always stay at under 15, 16, 17, 18, but that affinity, that loyalty will be built up, and they may want to play for you when they reach 21, 22. Now, it didn't work for Rice and Grealish because they're right there in Ireland, but they were both born in England, but they played for Ireland. They gave them heritage, right? They decided to go back to England, just like Hutchinson is doing. It's not new people. But when you don't give them, and by the way, people, 187 and 97 likes, that's like heresy, right? That's a joke. 187 people and 97 likes, that's a joke, people. Come on. What are you guys drinking today? You guys just stumbled into the chat? Maybe you can do better than that. Please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Because it does, hear me whine about this work thing 24/7. You guys still don't want to help me. Okay, I'm asking for your help, people. Hit the like button and subscribe so my numbers can go up. They're not growing fast enough. I'm being discouraged. And I'm telling something right now, because I love talk about Jamaica football in Jamaica, but NBA basketball soon come up. NFL start tonight, Kansas City versus Baltimore. If my numbers now go up, if I try something else to get some numbers. Just saying. In fact, not going to try. I'm going to be doing them to see how those numbers work. Because if my numbers now go up on the channel there, let me try something else, people. Because I try to be versatile, not one-dimensional. I'm not going to stop it, WeMax. I'm going, bless up, WeMax. When you come to join me, I'm going to hey, WeMax, so much time you come on your channel, you never come on my channel yet, You always have some excuse when me ask you, oh, your finger hurt and your big toe hurt you, or you step in some water and you twist your knee. Ask the excuse you make to not come on my channel. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to have you up. Okay? I'm going to have you up in my heart. Where's my heart at? I'm going to find it and have you up. Bless up, WeMax. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you. You've been one of my coaches for this, so I don't want to be an ungrateful student. No. You haven't come on my channel. You've come on my chat, not on the channel. There's a difference. Don't conflate the two or confuse the two. Don't do that. And I always tell me, say, you always do game. When do you have time not to be doing game? You see, people, this is a person who left Jamaica and forget him heritage. He might do African, he might do Suriname, he might do Curacao, he might do Brazil. He might just, are you want to say you're versatile, don't it? You're calling, but calling not the same as being on. Like I'm in your, what do you call that thing? It is a D or something. What's that thing that you have? Your Discord. I'm in your Discord. What are you talking about, WeMax? Anyway, let me stop whining. Let me stop whining about this. DW is saying, I think the problem is you have parents, agents who are more influential in decision making. Yes, I think that is true, DW, actually. And look, you can understand someone want to play for England when they're going to make more money because in their contract, they probably have bonus and incentives. So if you make the England team, there's a certain amount. So you can understand agents, and the agents are always looking out for themselves. Even though I'm not sure they get any of that. But yeah, if they write a good contract and their incentives to be gotten from you making the England national team, then I don't think they have an incentive. They may have incentive for international, but international, probably they should write as international and don't say which country so that they can still pay them. So the question, how can you provide more to earth players who are in the process of recruiting? Yeah, I know. Hey, Stefan, right? It's amazing. Look, so I got to be very careful because I'm told I'm too critical of the JFF. But I just think the JFF needs to think more. Here's what I'm going to say, people. I'm going to digress a little bit in this program today. I'm going to play the press conference when we talk about it. Let me digress on saying this. I think what the JFF should do, seriously, people, the JFF should take a whiteboard template, come up with what the optimum football program should look like. Then look to see what they have done and what they're doing that informs that, and then figure out how they get to where they need to get to, what I call utopia. It should be with the concept and the idea of, you know what? We're going to win the World Cup in the next 20 years because it's not happening in my lifetime. The next 20 years. And therefore, do we have anything we can emulate, like a Spain? It's kind of hard to emulate the Spains of the world, but let's think about a Uruguay, Spain combination, Belgium, given where they were previously, especially Belgium. In the Uruguay have the population size similar to us, and use that as the benchmark to help inform our view about getting there. Because here's my thing, people, and I know people like Travis probably think, Travis Presser, what we call him, that people like Kranky just want overseas players. Actually, I don't think it's a good thing to just have overseas-born players in the national team. I don't think it's the right. I think it should be, because then you may discourage local players. But here's my problem. The local players have to get better and be able to perform on the world stage. This is not about location. This is about, you know what? I have a population of 6 million. They all should have an equal chance against the national team. They all should do so based on meritocracy. Even though we have less resources, let's figure out how to get those local players to compete, because right now they're not competing. I'll be honest. When I look at the team the last 2 days, I'll pick the team, it'll be one local player in the starting lineup. If I was to pick it just based on what I think is meritocracy, one local player in the starting lineup. Seriously. And that cannot be good when I have 3 million plus on the island. Because if that's the case, then they say my ratio is skewed because I don't have 1 million people from Jamaican heritage in the UK. So it has to be a way where we are setting up a construct, which is we give the local kids a chance to compete. I don't believe in quotas. I never believe in quotas. Figure out a different way. So if I have a 20-year program and I break it up into 5-year pieces over a 4-year cycle, over a 4-period cycle, the first 5 years I want to do this, next 5 years I want to do this. In 20 years, we should be on equal footing, is my philosophy, is my view. I don't think it's going to be 4, 5, or 6, 7 years. Right? I don't think it's going to happen. I understand that. But it's not about, and certainly with a much smaller country, and we're going to have our differences of people, but it's more about the population side. And I've been in the per capita concept. The team should be reflective of the population size, right? If half my population is in Jamaica, which I think it is, then it doesn't necessarily mean half my team should come from Jamaica, but at least 30%, 25%. But it has to be based on meritocracy. So if they're not good enough, and if there's all overseas, then it should be all overseas. And here's another thing I think also, which I've been thinking about quite a bit. I watched Spain win the Euro with their local coach. Man has never coached at the highest level. But he came through the system, and they have a philosophy and style of play. And those players that gravitate through all the different age levels, they're used to how the country plays. They just migrate from one to the next, and it's just normal. It's normalized, right? They didn't go out and get some big coach. I watched the coach talk about Cuba, and they promote the under-20 coach who's taken to the World Cup to the senior team. So that philosophy, that style of play move forward. That's a good thing. That's how it should be. Right? I don't disagree with the TW, but I'm about to getting fired, because people say, well, Kranky, I try to fire people. People, 196 of you, please hit the like button. Please hit the like. I'm asking you, please. I'm begging. I'm going to start begging, because that may cause people to send me too aggressive. So I'm asking them, please hit the like button, please. A lot of you haven't hit the like button. Please do so. But I do believe, and look, I believe that Jamaica. Here's what I think they should be doing. But I have so many ideas, and people then say, "Kranky, things like you know everything." I mean, I know everything, but me have ideas. I'm gonna do a lot of reading. Right now, I try to read the Spain strategic philosophy as they come to them football, and one of them I try to do over the next number of years, and it's really interesting. And I read the whole FIFA development thing. That's why you hear me so criticize certain things, and it was really interesting. But I'm not sure FIFA has provided the underground guidance as what's required to get to a certain level. I'm just not sure they have done so, which they need to do. And I'm jumping around here a little bit, but there's a method to the madness, right? So I think it's very, very important, actually. It's very, very important for locally we're doing well in football. It not only helped the psyche, it helped some of those players go out and make a living for themselves and their family. We should be exporting talent all over the place. Because I keep hearing about how athletic we are. Why am I getting that, people? So I'm going to play... That athletic thing is bugging me. It's so bugging me because I watch a lot of Jamaican football. I don't see it on the field. I don't know what we're talking about. How athletic we are and how fast we are and this kick on hope football. And Cataract brought this out today now. I'm going to give Cataract his credit. We may have our differences, at least. Well, no, let me rephrase that. Cataract has any difference with me. I had some difference with him during the whole election process. I'm over it. Hopefully he's over me having differences with him because I didn't like some things that transpired. But he's always asking the question that needs to be asked that we want to hear about. Some of the other people that ask questions, you're just like, really? I had a question. You know, I'm telling you my question was, I was frustrated today. I text Simon like, what about time? How we get? And I forgot he told me like 2 or 3 times. But when you have a senile moments, you forget about these things. He had told me that they don't have any Wi-Fi with press conferences are being held, and therefore they can't do it remote. And I was saying to him, I want to call in. I want to ask a question. I want to ask a question. And he keeps saying, I keep telling you this, and I'm not sure what the story is with you. But I have forgotten about that because I didn't know the press conference held at the same place all the time. So here's my question, people. It was a simple question, same question that was asked before, but a little bit different context to it, which is, we do not appear to have a playing philosophy or style of play currently. So are you planning to implement one? And how effective can you be doing so and make it sustainable given the short period of time you have in each FIFA window with the players? I'm gonna play the press conference, people, because all I hear was kick and hope football. I'm serious. They tried to pin him down with a style of play, and he wasn't having it. He was jumping around, and they weren't pinning him down like they should pin him down to say, because somebody asked him, if you're a modern coach XYZ. And he's gone off on his tangent, and I wasn't happy, I must admit. So let me stop my talking. Let me play. I'm going to try to play. I am going to try to play what the coach says in the press conference. I know some of you may have heard this already. So if you have, more power to you. You can hear it a second time and dissect it. But I think it was. You guys can tell me what your thoughts are of the press conference. Did you learn anything new? What's your perspective on this, right? So let me play it, actually. If I can find it and pull it up. It's a little bit long, people, so you may fall asleep. And by the way, people, 137 likes doesn't do it for me. Let me hear if you can hear this.
Jamaica against Cuba in the CONCACAF Nations League. Again, a reminder, members of the media, please put your phones on silent or vibrate so as not to disturb the...
And by the way, people, before I start, ask the question. Anything you see me play that's Jamaica related, I have gotten some kind of permission. So don't in the chat say, Kranky, yeah, me know a thing, me see what I go up on YouTube, right? The one I play with Manning's Man, I called him and asked him to use it, and he laughed at me. But I called him and asked him for a reason, okay? If I'm playing some JFF stuff, then send it to me so we can play it.
The press conference, that would be greatly appreciated. And as everybody is aware, this is a new cycle of the CONCACAF Nations League. It's now a qualifier for the Gold Cup for next summer in the United States. And as we know, we finished third in the Nations League, our highest ever finish in the competition, as we recorded our first medal in 7 years. Tomorrow's match, 7 o'clock at the National Stadium. before we get into some questions from the media and a few remarks from our head coach, let me just introduce the individuals here. To my immediate left, we have the head coach of the senior men's national team, Mr. Steve McClaren, and to his immediate left as well, captain of the Reggae Boyz, Andre Blake. As we know, Andre's last game for Jamaica was in the Nations League as well, as we copped that bronze medal beating Panama 1-0. So welcome back, Andre. Welcome back to the squad, and glad the recovery was also quite speedy as well. So before I open the question and answer segment, Coach, just a few opening remarks for you heading into your first match on Jamaican soil.
Yeah, very short and sharp. Looking forward to it. It's been a long build-up since I first came over to Jamaica. It was nice to get into camp, meet the players, get on the grass, and lose my voice, shouting too much. But it's been great from the first day the players came in. There's great energy amongst the players, great spirit amongst them, and they've showed that on the training field. We need to transfer what we've done this week onto the field tomorrow to get a result against Cuba.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Much appreciated there. We can now commence the question and answer segment. Please raise your hand, indicate, and we can commence whether your question to Andre or to Coach McClaren. Yes, go ahead, Coach. Robert.
So far, tell me some of the things that you have seen from the team so far that you liked about the team.
I like the spirit. I like the energy. I like them smiling. They enjoy being around each other. I like the trainings, which is why I've lost my voice, because they've put everything into the training session, the intensity, the desire to work. That's what I've liked. We've tried to introduce one or two things. I think we need to keep things simple. I think the style of play had success. I want to keep that. I want to keep the foundation, keep the basics, keep what they've had for the last 2 years, where they've developed. And as Simon says, third in the Nations League. We want to continue that, but also we want to improve it. So I'm here to help the players go to the next step, the next level, in which we can, stay number one in the Caribbean, but also, let's get up the rankings in CONCACAF. And the ultimate goal, which is World Cup qualification in 26.
But the first game is tomorrow in the nerve on your part. I know you have been there and done it before, but the first game, inside the National Stadium as a head coach, in the nerves, how are you feeling?
Yeah, always. I like that. It means you're ready for the game. That's what football's all about. Doesn't matter what level. Always when you play, you're always, don't know quite what's going to happen. It's football. We can control the controllables, which we've tried to do. And, we've tried to introduce one or two things, keep things simple. And I'm going to concentrate tomorrow on the performance. If we get the performance from the players, normally you get the win. That's what I'll focus on.
All right. Any other questions? Howard Walker?
Coach, Howard Walker from Howard Today. You are an experienced coach. How would you describe yourself? Are you an attacking coach, a defensive coach? How would you describe your style of play? Or what would you like to implement?
Well, I try to be a winning coach. Because winning keeps you in the job and helps you develop and helps you go forward. So I'm quite a flexible, adaptable coach. I like the fundamentals. I like the basics. I like people knowing their jobs, doing their jobs, working hard, having good attitude, being hard to beat. I think that's the platform of all performances. If you're easy to beat and you're too stretched and you can't defend, you don't win football matches or not enough. So that is what the team have got. That's what they've developed over the last 2 years under the last coach. And I like that. Gives us a platform. We need to build from that platform now.
So in terms of formation, though, what's your preferred formation?
That's adaptable, that's flexible to the players that are available. So it depends on the players, depends on the opponent also. We've introduced one or two small things, principles, non-negotiables, which we must have. in a game, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to happen straight away. We're going to have spells where maybe we try to build up, but we make mistakes. And, Andre is central to that. And, I take responsibility for that. So the players, we want them to play. We want them to, be able to deal with the ball, handle the ball, control the game in possession. So not just have a trans.
I apologize, but someone sent me a message and I clicked on it and forgot. That's so dumb. I forgot I was playing this, and now I've lost it. Maybe it's a good thing. Please don't type in a message, send me a message on the phone you're doing, because that's where I'm playing from, and I gotta go find where I had this thing now. Okay.
Decision game, but to try and have some control, which is in possession, control the game. Out of possession, you're in good shape, good formation, hard to beat.
Thanks, Howard. Donald, then Mr. Blake.
Steve McClaren, welcome to Jamaica. Donald from Sportsmans. Over the next 18 months, I'm not sure how much of a hard person that you'd have to become to lead this team, but let's see what happens. But in regards to tomorrow's game, first game against Cuba in particular, is it that you would be more of a coach tomorrow where the handbrake is up, or you're going to be asking your players to express themselves more as you observe, as this is like a litmus test for you?
You're absolutely right. It's a test. It's the first time I've worked with them this week. I can't fault their attitudes and the work and the attention they've given to the detail we've given them. So I can't fault that. But you're absolutely right. It's more a focus on the performance. And it won't be perfect. I know that. Over 90 minutes it won't be. There'll be ups and downs and good spells, bad spells. But I want to see just some of the things that we've worked on. That the players are taking that on board and the team is developing in that, but also keeping the structure which they've had for the last 2 years and just help them develop from that. Because I think if you want to compete, you want to stay number one in the Caribbean, you want to get in the top 3 of the CONCACAF rankings, then you have to develop your game. And we've worked with the players, we've talked with the players. How do we develop? So tomorrow is the first step, and it's a big step, one in which we need to find a way to win, but also show signs of the performance which we've worked on.
Andre, I know that you've been on the sidelines for the last few months. You'd have seen a couple of disappointing results, especially from our standpoint, from the fans' standpoint. Knowing that you're with the squad now at the setup, what's the feeling like there? Because probably seeing the performance would have been a little bit strange, not only because you weren't playing, but based on the type of performance that you'd have seen. But what's it like being back in there?
It's always good to be back, with the boys. As coach said, the energy is good, the vibe is right at the camp, and it was tough for me, not being able to be with the boys, especially in the Copa. But I think they did well for the most part, but the game can be defined, by small margins, and unfortunately we fall short, but I think we're headed in the right direction. And with Steve coming in, and implementing these strategies, I just think that, we're excited and we're looking forward to it. And I think there's great things to come.
Brian, Mr. Blake. Brian, and then.
And how are you feeling fitness-wise? Because I know being out for some time and then coming back in, just like your fitness level, everything about that. What are the doctors saying to you? Because Blake, the worst thing we can hear is you're not playing.
I'm good. I've played 11 games since I've been back. Quick succession games, but I guess you could say that was a test, and I've passed the test, so I'm good to go.
Okay, and coach, this one is for you. After all the work you did, all the calls you made to get Leon Bailey back, so unfortunate that he picked up that injury for Aston Villa. Jamal Lowe comes into the setup. What are you thinking?
I've been watching Jamal since he was a young player. Big talent, and I think he's progressed. Needs to find a home. I think he's found that at Sheffield Wednesday. He's playing very well. I've seen him on the wing. I've seen him as number 9. So that flexibility we talked about within the squad, that is what you need for sure. And yeah, it was disappointing. All the work we'd done to get Leon back. And then he goes and gets injured. But I spoke to him this morning, Leon, and he's in good spirits. It's not too bad. He might be back for the bench in 2 weeks for Villa, but definitely he said he'll miss one game and available for the next camp. So we look forward to that. But it's an opportunity for Jamal Lowe to come back into the squad. He's been in before, and he's got to take the opportunity, and he's got an opportunity tomorrow.
So first of all, coach and captain, best wishes from fans for a positive result both here and in Honduras. Coach, for you, let's start off with a footballing question. One of the observations of the team going forward in the past has been the long balls that have been employed. Will that still be a feature of our team? And on the second footballing side, we've always been in very good positions and seem to concede in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game after the 80th, 85th minute. What strategies have you put in place, if you can say, to counteract that so that the team can hold on when they've played so well for most of the game and either end up with a draw or not see the game right through to get the 3 points? That's the first question.
I got to say, it's a very good question, 2 of them. And I don't know about, I don't call it long ball, I call it the long pass. And that's what we're asking him to do. Pass the ball. If it's long, if it's short, it's a pass. And you need the long ball. Sorry, you need the long pass. Occasionally in a game. And we've talked about that because in the modern game of football, it's changing. Tactics are changing, and players and the teams are pressing hard, and they may leave space behind. Therefore, what do? You play into the trap, or you play a long pass in behind the defenders. You have to have every strategy. You have to be able to do all the things, and I think that's what I'm not saying we're trying to develop all the things, but we're trying to vary our game so that we can play. We've got that structure, but also, and we say to Andre, in the end, no risk. If it has to be a long pass, has to be a long pass. We've got Antonio up front. We've got Shamar Nicholson up front, who are big and physical. We got speed. We have to use that speed. How do you use that speed? Use that speed by exploiting the space behind defenders. How do you do that? Then quickly you have to have a long pass in behind. So it's a great strength of the Jamaican team, which we're good on transition, but we want to develop that into more possession. The second question, in terms of the last 10 minutes and conceding goals, and we talked about that yesterday. He pointed out that fact to me, and this is what I've said to the squad. Football is not about 11 players. It's about the starters and the finishers, and the finishers have a more important job than the starters because they have to finish the game. So subs are important. There's 5 subs now. So in a situation where you're winning a game, you're losing a game, it's important that the squad, the players on the bench, part of the squad, they impact. And that's also what I'm looking for. So I'm not just looking at how we start, how we develop through the games, how we take half-time, how we take instruction, how the bench affect the game, make an impact, so that we don't, if we're 1-0 up, we don't concede in the last few minutes of the game. The sign of a good team, and we've said this, the sign of a good team is we keep going and we score in the last 10 minutes. So we may be down, we may be drawing, but a good team stays in the game, finishes the game, and scores a winning goal. But also make sure that it doesn't lose the game as well.
Just a quick question. Can you tell us what's the difference between your first day as England head coach and your first days as Jamaica head coach? What's the difference for you?
Well, basic difference is there's probably 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 20, 21 players in the room, and that first day with England there was about 200.
All right, let's go to Roger and then Jerome.
Yes, good morning. Just a quick question for Andre, and then I'll have two quick ones for Coach. Andre, what was the general sentiment in terms of when you guys learned that Steve McClaren will be taking over the reins as a player? What was the general sentiment on this squad?
I mean, it was a bittersweet moment. Hammer came in and he did a good job. He definitely take us to another level. But things happen. And when it was Steve time, obviously who didn't know him had to do their research. But immediately we realized that we were getting somebody with a great pedigree. So everybody was excited, as I said before, and we're all looking forward to it. Now that we got a chance to meet and work together, we're just excited. It's great things to come.
Okay, Coach. Cuba is ranked 160 odd in the world. Jamaica is in the 50s, and there's a general sentiment that this should be an easy 5-6-0 win. Not certain how much blindsided are you in terms of what to expect from the Cubans, but what you know is that you have the players working with for that game. What would be your general sentiment and expectations heading into that game and coming out of that game?
I think the first expectation is, like every game, we plan to win and we expect to win. So that's the first message to them. And then go out and win. That's basically it. Cuba will be a difficult team. They performed very well in the under-20s CONCACAF Cup. They're developing. They've got quite a few resources now. So the game is developing, the coaching is developing. You can see from the team, the shape, the structure, they're organized, they're disciplined. And I think the key thing is the trainer, the coach who was leading the team in the under-20s has now been moved to the senior team. So continuity will, the players will know the system, will know the style. They have a certain way of playing. I've watched them. They're very organized, very disciplined, very difficult to break down. So we expect to take the game to Cuba, make sure that we take the game, use our individual talent, shall we say, in the final third, create and score, but also to make sure they're very dangerous on the transition, that our rest defense is right, and we get the balance between attack and defense and not go too gung-ho. So a balanced performance, expectations of winning and demanding that we win.
Jerome?
Coach, a question for each. Coach, the captain first. The coach mentioned that there are some non-negotiables. Are you able to elaborate on some of those? And what is the reception like from the players?
Yeah, since the first day, Coach said everybody on the team is going to need to want the ball. Everybody on the team is going to have to be willing to run, defend together, fight for each other. And yeah, I have to agree with Coach. If you want to be a really good team and go to the next level and, compete and beat the US and then the Mexicos and even, the bigger teams, you have to be able to do these things and do them consistently. And as he said, if you're not willing to do it, you won't be in the room, and that's as simple as it gets. We have to set high standards and maintain them. So again, I'm really excited and I'm just looking forward to it.
And Coach, obviously 2 weeks is never going to be enough for you to implement everything that you want to implement, but what has it been like so far in terms of getting the information from?
I think we'll see tomorrow, but it's been 3 days. 3 days is difficult to implement and change too many things. As I said before, and Andre is right, you have to have non-negotiables, and that is absolutely right. Everybody must be able to deal with the ball, take the ball, in modern day football. And if you want to go higher, you have to have players who can deal with that, get out of tight areas, pass through the lines, change play, switch play, are comfortable on the ball. That's one thing. We attack with 11, we defend with 11. No more is the one where we leave the 9 up front, he doesn't have to work, or the 11 can cheat. Everybody has to work together in terms of that. And I think the key thing is consistency. if we get consistency in them areas, then you get results on a more level basis. But as I say, it's a process, and it's great. The process started on Monday. Couldn't wait. We're out on the grass. That's where the players want to be. That's where I want to be. That's where we want to be tomorrow night in these big games. Next week against Honduras, hostile atmosphere. This is why we're in football. People said they were a little nervous. Of course, the anxiety, because it's football. But that's the beauty of football. That's why we're in this sport and play it, to make sure that we consistently, day in, day out, game in, game out, get the non-negotiables, and we'll be okay.
We can take Mario and Eddie, and then we wrap up now.
All right, Eddie Vision TV. Coach, a few practice sessions. Have you settled on not starting in the yet?
Yep.
You have a follow-up, Eddie? All right, Robert.
Coach, like I said, the first game tomorrow, what would be your word to the fans now? As a lot of persons are reluctant to come out and, still reluctant to come out. What would be your word to the fans about, supporting this team?
I think one of the goals we talked about when we came in was we want to fill the stadium. We want to fill it. And we're not doing that at the moment. And the players don't like that. I don't like hearing that. I want all the support that we can get, because that's why we play out there. That's why we go out there, for the supporters to play for. Yes, for each other. Not for the coaching staff, but for each other and for the supporters. There's nothing better than a connection. And I want to emphasize to the players that the connection we need with the fans, we need to start tomorrow. We need to, we talked about, what is the culture of Jamaican football? What do they want to see? What do they want? So we want to do that, give them what they want, but also win, because I know Jamaicans, they want to win. They don't want to finish second. They don't want to finish third. They want to win. And we all do in football. So that's the key thing. And the fans, it's up to us. And it's up to performances and results to get to that level and build the crowd up.
All right, last one over here.
All right, Manuel Sullivan, Sportsman Coach. I just want to ask you about, your club career, well documented, and your stint with the England national team. Speak to me about the differences between international football and coaching at the club level. Somebody said this week, it's a lot of work that we're doing, that we're getting into the day. And I said at top level football, that's every day. And that's the difference between international football. You do get a break. But the camps are really intense. You really have to work hard. You really have to get the information right. You really have to get the strategies right. Whereas club football, I call it relentless. At least with the camps and international football, you get a little breather in between, and then another 10-day camp, you've got to go again. So for the coaches, there's that rest. For the players, unfortunately, it's 24/7, 365 days a year, because they're doing both. And football at now, this level, and the level that they're playing at, it's intense. And the pressure, people don't realize the pressure. They don't realize, especially with mental health nowadays, and since COVID, that mental pressure and that mental health has become more apparent. And people are coming out and realizing that, you can't hide in the shadows with the pressure and the stress and the anxiety and no support. You have to come out and talk about it. And I think modern society is providing that. So I had it for 2 years, Manchester United. It was relentless. Every day, travel, 65 games in the year, travel to Europe, back, next game 3 days later, preparing for that. And the preparation, the detail, it's intense. So at the moment, I'm enjoying this camp. It's back to where I'll get a breather. They carry that on, the pressure. And then in another few weeks, we meet again.
Thank you very much, members of
So a little bit long, but I figure we play the whole thing. So instead of me standing here and pontificating about my perspective on the press conference, how I decipher it, what my views are, I'd love to get your views. But before I do that, there is about about 73 people in the chat who haven't hit the like button. Now, let me just say this. If you support the channel, hit the like button. If you don't support the channel, you don't have to hit the like button. That's all I'll say. If you support it, hit it. You don't support it, it's not reverse psychology, you don't have to hit it. So let me know what you people think. I mean, it's there's a lot to decipher and there's nothing to decipher. And that may sound like a contradiction. Actually, he said a lot, but I don't know. It's like going around in a circle. Actually, if I'm saying I want to be flexible, I have heard the word flexible. There's so much I want to talk about, people. You guys need to call in, and you have 5 minutes if you call in, because I'm gonna get myself in trouble tonight. I'm gonna go back to the under 14. I hear Presto talking about this a lot. Let me just say something, people. Since he's been here, he's talking a lot about the under 14, but then he talked about Cuba's under 20, because I think they go into the World Cup, right? He said nothing about Jamaica under 20, did he? And these under 20 players from Cuba are going to translate to the national team. Didn't the under 20 win their zone to get to the playoff that they went to when they played Costa Rica, Cuba, and the US? Now, many of you will say he goes Kranky, gave his negativism, trying to take away from the under 14. But sometimes you need to stop getting to yourself, your feelings, and think about what you're saying, which is about comparatives and what is your benchmark. All right. Good evening.
Kranky, big up.
Good evening. You have 5 minutes, 433.
The only thing I'll say before I get into the press conference, I still think you're looking a bit too deep in the recruitment of players, because as Pinnock said, you know, it just comes down to the individuals. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not looking at the 433 backup. I'm not looking to deep. I'm saying what the coach says versus what Pinnock says. That's what I'm saying. All I said. I'm not looking
I know your stance on it, because he said you get beaten if you already.
Yeah, his view was that they should play for the country they were born in. That's what he said.
Yeah,
that's what he said. There's no ambiguity about that. And Pinnock says,
"Well, I don't think he directly said that, to be honest." You know?
No, that's what he can go back and play it 101 times. But he said he didn't say it's their prerogative to choose for him. He said that's right. If they're born there, that's right. They should play for that country. That's what he said. There's no ambiguity, people.
I agree with that,
we can spin it all we want to spin it. What did Pinnock say? Pinnock said it's based on the individual and their circumstances, and he go up and walk through it. Because they asked him why he decided to play for Jamaica and how, and he basically saying, "Well, I had no idea how to do that, because a lot of people are not informed about heritage. I can't go get a passport, and here's a process." He had no idea. So in essence, 433, what he said is not what Pinnock says, and I've been saying what Pinnock says because I know this. This is not something I'm trying to guess. I know. I was born there. I've lived there. I've been there. Go back to live there. I've talked to people there. I have friends there. That's what I hear. Some people there, even who just watch football, say, "You know what? I'll never support England again after the Euros, given what transpired with Rashford and Sancho, and my kids will never support England." So when I hear this thing from him, and people think that, "Oh, you know what? Kranky's trying to bring up something." No, it's facts. It's what I've heard.
But
go ahead.
Even if you said that, then fair enough. It's just the truth, you know. And sometimes you don't like hearing the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because
no, but it's not the truth. That's one point I'm trying to make, which is if 433 is born in the US, for example, like Jason Gunner is, 433 may go into a Jamaica host. If you're born in someplace in Brooklyn, you think you're still in Jamaica. That's all you hear. That's all you see. The music, the lifestyle, the perspective. People walk the talk and talk the talk, right? You may say, "No," and you go to Jamaica regularly. Harder people in England. You may say, "You know what? I want to play for Jamaica. I want to play for the US. I like how the US operate." Doesn't mean because you was born here, you go see you're gonna play for them all the time. That doesn't happen. Trust me.
All right, but pertaining to the press conference, right?
Yeah.
I was pleased with the press conference. However, Kranky, I think a lot of the things are one specific thing that is rubbing a lot of people wrong. It comes down to whenever like people ask him about the style of play, right? Because I heard Ketark ask him about it, and I heard MG ask him about it, and you know he keeps dancing around the question. And I think he's always giving a generic answer. And I think a lot of coaches always give this generic answer about, you know, how the players are fast, how Jamaicans are fast and strong. And, you know, being fast and strong doesn't necessarily like win your games. And I mean, when I've listened to other coaches, whether at the international level or at the club level, they give at least some details in terms of what their philosophy is or what they're going to try to do. You know, even maybe giving a simple answer about the formation that they prefer. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure if they pose the question about a formation, he would have also danced around that because he's going to say what he's adaptable. You know what I'm saying?
The formation was asked. I think somebody was trying to be cute. I think they were trying to get him to pin him down. So they asked about almost philosophy, and then they asked about formation. And he basically said the formation is based on the opponent, basically. Right?
Yeah, which
it's based on the opponent's situation. And we understand that. But I think, look, I am disappointed in his answer. I'll just say that. I'm disappointed in his answer.
Yeah, because for me, like, it reminds me of, like, Eric Ten Hag when he came at United, right? No, I'm not saying United, as fans, we expected to play like the Ajax style of play, right?
Right.
But when he's going to come out and say, well, I didn't come here to play like Ajax, then on what basis were you hired? You know,
no, that's not the question. 43. What did you come here to play as? That's the question.
Yeah, but I'm saying
that's why I'm so mad I couldn't be in the press conference to say, you know what, I'd probably get myself in trouble, but I'm gonna say, do you have a style of play? I don't want to hear about flexibility. I don't hear about how fast we are. I want to hear about what we're gonna try to hold possession and do this. We're gonna be flexible. We're not gymnasts.
So that's what I'm saying, Kranky. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not sold on the answers surrounding that because, you know, as a coach, I think you can provide to an extent as to what you're here to do in terms of like your philosophy or something like that. And I'm not saying you must go in details, etc., etc. But there must be some answer that the fans can look at and say, okay, this is what we're going to try to look out for because, you know, not everybody will grasp the concept as quickly as possible as compared to some other people that watch football week in, week out, you know. Right. But if you provide something and put it on a platter and you can, you know, break it down for people, then at least they can have something to understand and look out to. But it's just generic when somebody says, oh, I'm adaptable and it comes down to the opponent. I mean, surely not every opponent you play against, you're going to play all different formations that exist in football. You know, you have one predominant formation that you normally play with your best available players, whether it's a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. You know, when you come up against tough opponents now where you need to be a bit more defensive and compact, then you revert to like a back five, etc. But there's no, he hasn't provided that answer in that sense. And to be fair to him, I've always wondered, maybe it's because he doesn't want to like lay down a huge expectation for fans. And then if things doesn't work out, you know, he gets the heat. You know what I'm saying?
4-3-3. Let me just say this, people. I'm going to care what nobody want to tell me, say. Jamaicans want the ball on the ground. They want to be entertained, people. No matter what anybody wants to say. I don't care what energy 876 wants to say, anybody wants to say. That's what they want to hear. How you get there, people, energy talking about, you know, what players you have. He's been saying he knows all these players. He knows Jamal Lowe from him is a baby. I'm saying that. But he's how to make that case. He knows Antonio. He knows Mason Greenwood. He knows all these players. So if you know them, what style can they play? If you think they can play position football, then say so. So he's going to play something. He's going to do what he's going to continue. He's going to have a continuation of what we had before. Okay, what does that mean? What did we have before? What style of play did we have before? We didn't have one. You hear us complain on this channel, talk about kick and hope football. We had K and H. That's what Cataract question was. Don't you guys understand what Cataract was doing? Cataract asked the question that should be asked. What players are you recruiting? What about these players? We have all talked about this. We know the recruiting and how we play is the elixir for success. You got to have good players or excellent players, then take those players and mold them to be winners. That's how it works. I can't work with tools that are not what they're supposed to be. That's why Cataract has those questions, and he's the one, he's not the journalist in the room, and he's the one that's being the journalist in the room. Go ahead.
What I will say is, Kranky, based on some of the players that we're looking to recruit, you know, obviously they have an attacking 40 in terms of like they can offer a lot to us on the attacking forefront, right?
Yeah.
However, in terms of what we have now, because we have to focus on what we have now in the present, I don't see where we'll move away as quickly as we think we should in terms of like what Hargreaves seems to play. I'm not saying it's going to be the same, right? But players don't change overnight. And when players reach a certain age, there's so much and no more you can teach to a certain profile of a player. And, you know, even if you look at the two strikers up top, depending on how you play them, you're not going to get much different from them in terms of how you play the ball on the ground because, you know, Antonio's don't know.
But why do you have to play two strikers up front?
No, I'm not saying you play two strikers, but regardless, you get different from Antonio compared to Nicholson, but it's not far apart in terms of like, it's the best that you can get from a striker. You know what I'm saying? Because on one hand, Antonio doesn't score goals, but he can hold up the ball well and he can bring players into the game. Shamar Nicholson can score goals depending if he feel like it. but he cannot hold up the ball and bring players in. You know what I'm saying? And I think the best thing about this Jamaican team on the attacking forefront is our wide players. But what I will say with our wide players, I think we need to try a bit more in terms of how we play to get the best out of them, because, you know, barring them, I agree, who is the positive or the shining light of the team. In terms of our attacking players, especially in the wide areas, really and truly don't have anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we haven't no consistency. If you just think about it, Bailey and Gray are the ones who play wide normally, right? So we don't have anybody else who's going to long run. Sifa's got a couple run. We plug people here and there. Bobby Reed may play out there sometimes. Bobby Reed has been out there for quite a bit actually, but he's probably more a utility player than a pure winger. So we haven't had people who are embedded on the wings to play actually, to say, you know what, we can then really assess whether or not it works or not. Bailey plays out there, but his performances have been what they have been.
Yeah.
All right, 433.
Yeah, that's it still.
Yeah, man. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Avis Williams, can I say this, Avis? I don't take this the wrong way, Avis. Avis, if I were you, I'm sitting, you know, some of the people at my previous child give me a hard time. Avis, here's another thing, Avis. If something bugs you, then get rid of it. That's what I say, Avis. If you believe the YouTubers are just negative and contrarians, then just don't go on their channels. That's all I'll say, Avis. Don't take it personal. Don't go on their channels. Good evening.
Stan, Jeremy here.
Jeremy, how you doing? How you doing, Jeremy? A long time. How is the Southern hospitality treating you?
I mean, it's good, you know. Still one this time.
Okay. Well, you have 5 minutes, Jeremy. Everybody 5 minutes got the phone hot.
All right, no problem. So, all right, Kranky, you know what me think say go on now? Boom. It's because we have never seen a style of play from Jamaica and all of that. This is why we keep on asking this coach what's going to be the style of play and formation, all of that. I've never seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you see it, I never see. I've never seen one of these reporters going to none of these press conferences in the Premier League or any other league and ask about what the formation a coach will play or what have you. Because whenever the team start play, you analyze, you see what the formation the coach always use or whatever, and how them change throughout the game, the system or whatever. Take for example Pep, right? You ever see the formation come up on the TV when the game start? You know your right fullback or your left fullback will come inside when we attack and we play straight back or whatever. You get me? So why don't we just allow the coach to play in a couple of games and see if we can decipher the system when we're going to play or whatever, if you even have a system.
Yeah. No, look, I every question has its merits to it. I think people are trying to pin him down. The formation was a style of play question, you know, but formation is not style of play. It was a way to say, give us something about what you're going to do. And he's not, he's just talking. It hasn't given you anything to hold onto. Somebody's saying, well, he says he's going to have possession and do this. No, he's talked about if they press me, I have to go along. We don't disagree with that concept, but we have been going long all game forever. That's what we do. We go long all the time.
But he does. He did say though, Kranky, want control of the game at the midfield and play through the lines and stuff. So
yeah, but I'm just saying, I don't know, because he said, here's another thing: you can't say everything for everyone. That's what he's doing.
Right.
He basically said he's going to do what the previous coaches did. What did the previous coach do? Play low block football and try to hit on the counter, or just go long, kick the ball up to Antonio to head on to Nicholson. So if you're going to do what the previous coaches did, then how does that translate to want to keep possession and dominate? How does that translate to going to play the ball long? How that translation? I understand the flexibility, but you're playing Cuba tomorrow, for example. Cuba is not the US where I have to be really flexible and say, you know what, I'm going to go low block. We should be saying, you know what, I'm going to be on the front foot. I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And here's the other thing too. Are we going to have a style of play as a country?
His press conference didn't say he was going to go low block though, Kranky. I
didn't say he's going low block, but I'm not saying he's not telling us anything.
Right.
He told me what Cuba is. He told me what their strengths are. He told me that they have a coach move from under 20. He told me the under 20 team, how they play, they're hard to beat and all that. So what are you going to do? If you say, you know what, it's confidential, we can live with it.
Correct.
What is the long-term plan for the country playing style? If you say, you know, look, Jamaica, that's not my job. It should come through the junior teams. Build up your philosophy and style of play. We'll say, you know what? And you know what? I'm the coach here. I know what I'm working with. I'll get some new players in. Those players will inform how I play. But he hasn't really said anything.
Yeah, well, let's see what happened. He said the previous coach set a base with the defensive side of the team
Yeah.
in like that base.
Yeah.
So he's gonna build on that. So I'm expecting if you like what was left defensively, which I do like it, because honestly, I don't really have a problem with the defense. You get my sense? So if you see that all you need to do now is work on we going forward.
Yeah.
You get me? If we are defending as a unit, you work on we going forward. That is no problem. We're not progressing from the D line to the midfield and to our attackers. You get me? We basically bypass the midfield, which if you don't have nobody for XYZ or hold the position or a show for the ball in the midfield, the man never go bypass it. Because if you full back of the ball and them turn outside, yeah, and nobody not showing on the midfield, and them cut out the pass from the outside, don't go to them out there, kick the ball and or play the ball back and put yourself back under pressure. So he must know still.
Yeah.
We just go watch and see if I can sit back on this decipher what his playing style.
Well,
You know,
look, you hear my question I was trying to ask, right? Because it's very difficult for a coach who just took over a team international window to impose a style of play, right?
Correct.
Those things sometimes take a long time to do to get it right. The question is, as he's saying, he's being flexible. And I guess his flexibility is that, you know what I have will inform how I play, and my opponent may also inform how I play without having me imposing my will on every opponent I play against. Maybe that's what he's saying, which he's not really saying out specifically, because it's very hard to implement a style of play in a few, you come this September for a number of days, you come back in October for a number of days, I don't see you again until next year, right? The question is, are the players I'm bringing in from all the different places, can they play, I must say it my way, can they play possession football? Do they have the capability? Are they technical enough? And if so, maybe I can work on something and get us to a good place. And over time, they build up that camaraderie, that engagement, that way of playing to make it much more embedded.
I mean, you're totally correct, because even if you ever use Pep for example, as regards to recruiting, everybody that he chooses, he basically knows that they can play what he's trying to do or whatever. So if you're gonna recruit for your tenure that you're there, you're gonna basically go after the players that you want, what can fit your style, what you have in your head.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it with Pep. When Pep first went in, he told Joe Hart, "You're not my footballer," and Joe Hart pleaded with him, and he said, "You can't play the way I play." He brought Bravo, and he got rid of Bravo right away. Right? He's like, "You're not it either," and go get Edison, who can play like the one. So you're right, and we don't have that luxury. McClaren doesn't have the luxury whereby he can just go pick out somebody who's gonna fit exactly what he wants. But he has it in terms of, don't tell me that's what I'm beating him with. Don't tell me that under 23 not gonna want to play for me. Ask them first, try to convince them, give them the vision, give them the strategy, make a compelling case for them to come. They may still not come, but at least don't give up.
Definitely.
Yeah,
You know, I definitely understand some of the things that he was saying before with that recruiting thing, and as regards to the part of, as you say, you're born there and you know exactly what's going on over there, Kranky. Yeah, and I understand that part of it, and I agree with you there. Also, I agree with him now, which we have to find some way to start developing that really steadfast and I really depend on the bulk of quality or talents that's producing over on that side. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, and if we even get the youngsters, then the quota thing will kill us, because even if we have the right youngsters, then we really have the talent and really ready to come. If we can get them together from the young and grow them, come right up, then can now transition into the senior team. Just like what he's saying that the under 20s for Cuba I go transition because they moved I guess they moved the under 20 coach to the senior coach. So him already have eyes on the youngster them where he'll use the coach unless I know who can transition into the team, because they already know his style that he's gonna be implementing on the senior team, you know. So I mean, we have to start to think those type of way also, because if all the youngsters them never take the last time because of the quota thing, or come from Tottenham, Chelsea, and all them places, bro. If we can grow and nurture those talents from them time to come right up, man, we don't really have to keep on look for the older players them in the back end when them they get called up, because we already have a system going and them just a transition right into the senior team.
Yep, true. Yeah, man.
All right, we'll go and watch the show still.
All right, thanks for the call.
Yeah,
man. That was Jerome people, and Jerome and us met up in myself, Jerome and Minzy hung out. We went to Dallas in March to watch the Nation League. Somebody asked why me decline. I call him back. Somebody asked why I decline him. I decline you because somebody says it's on the phone. I don't know people like this. Let me see who this is. So people, if you call in, I will press decline with a message to say,
hello, good evening.
Yeah, first responder, let me just say this to you because you asked me why me decline you. If somebody's on the call, I'm going to press the thing and tell you decline and give you a reason to say can't talk to you right now so you know that somebody's on the call. That's all. I'm not declining you. Go ahead, first responder. What do you have to say?
Oh, okay. I trouble you, man. All right. I'm a little bit older than some of your callers.
Right.
So I was
you
here
mean a little bit
during
more
the
seasoned, more experienced.
more season. Yes, I'm a heritage. I'm one of your heritage callers too.
Oh, you're
So-
a heritage caller. Well, I gotta tell you. All right.
So, but why Simoes came there? When Simoes came to Jamaica, and he decided that the whole country should be playing one kind of football. I want to believe that is why training was open to anybody who wanted to come and look.
Right.
And Simoes had basically the whole country playing one way. Because remember, I play at Mandeville in my little corner league. And all of us were saying, total football. Total, everybody tackle, everybody go up, everybody come back. And that was the Simoes energy coming right down to the grassroots. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is more than me. So I say, why is it that them not even want people to come look for more than 5 minutes worth of training?
No. That's not. That's like, I think that's maybe a CONCACAF thing because what happens? No, it's 15 minutes you get. So what happens is there's a view that if I allow everyone to come watch training, and I have things I'm going to implement in the game, and they're secrets, quote unquote, you may take them. Like you see with Canada using drones to go watch other people play and then utilize their sets and what they're doing to counteract it. So when we went to Dallas, for example, they allow us to be there for 15 minutes and then they had guards just kick us out, right? That's what they do. It's not only for us, it's for any team. That's how it is done. So I think it's maybe a CONCACAF, maybe it's a federations type construct. I think it's just CONCACAF. I think Copa is the same way, whereby you only get 15 minutes. And maybe people like Simon can come and explain one day as to the rationale. But when we went to Dallas, we only got 15 minutes, and then they said, you got to go. So we watch them do some warm-ups and stuff, but when they start doing strategy, they don't want you there.
All right, so at what point do all the teams play the same way? Or that will never happen?
I think the JFF and the technical committee need to effectuate how we play football in Jamaica, which is, you see that with, and I keep going back to Spain because I'm here reading some of the strategy and some of the things they're doing, which is amazing, actually. It's probably not even amazing. It's just what you probably should do as a football country. I think you got to blow up what you do and start over. And then when you start over, you leverage what may be working for you and just probably enhance it, right? Can't keep doing the same thing and get the same result because you're not producing enough football with the requisite quality to compete at the world level. So how do I change that? We everybody now in the chat, including people like Presso, keep saying the under 14, the under 14, the under 14. But here's the problem with that, which they don't seem to get. I want to see them play outside of the Caribbean people. They beat French. Does French guy? They beat French Guyana 7. Does French Guyana play football? What do you know about French Guyana and football? That's the problem I have with that concept. The under 20 won their region and get 9 from the US. So when you guys are saying these YouTubers are critics and they're toxic and they're this and everybody's beating their chest, it's not about beating the under 14, but your benchmark is no longer the Caribbean.
True.
If the Caribbean, you know what? Just play competition in the Caribbean and don't leave the Caribbean. Go ahead.
All right, Kranky, one last question. Or one more observation. I mean, let me tell you something. There's a certain vlogger who like to say either they can't do it or they don't want to do it. If I was the JFF, I'm the one to do it. I would sit down and listen to you and management in particular with the pen and paper every night, if me didn't want to do it. Because what you're talking about are stuff that people are supposed to pay for.
No. Look, they
You
don't have to listen to
understand?
us enough. They can just go leverage other people do, because here's my philosophy actually, which is you don't have to copy what somebody does. You can take the best from all the people you think are doing really well and leverage it. I can also look at those who are not doing well and make sure you don't make the same mistakes. Right?
I know.
What they
I
don't
know,
do,
but
and they're gonna. Everybody's complaining about resources.
Yeah.
That's an excuse sometimes. Trinidad can come in resource because Trinidad have no money. People, Trinidad broke in a football. Not saying the country's broke. The Trinidad football team is broke. They're like how Jamaica was 4 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe even 2 years ago. Jamaica is doing much better from a financial standpoint. Now is the time to strike when the iron is hot. Now is the time to strike. Yeah.
Yeah, but look, they drafted Manningsman, and in one aspect of things, you don't hear nothing about that happen again. They drafted
That's true.
Simon.
That's true.
That aspect, you don't hear nothing about that happen
Because
again.
Simon is very good, by the way. Simon is good at what he does.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's good at
But
what he does.
so look here. You see you. If I was a JFF, would have talked to you.
No. JF banned me. Then I talk to
as a third blogger.
No, them banned me. See me a toxic YouTuber.
And
they could be right. They could be right. They could be right. I may be.
So the bottom line is the things that you are talking about every night.
Right.
I fix them now. I fix it. All right.
I don't know if they don't want to fix it. Sometimes it's about. I don't know what it is actually. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, all right. When Mr. Chung came in, I was so excited. I thought new ideas were gonna flourish and old people would disappear.
What they did say they seem to have suggested that. They seem to have suggested that when he was coming in, right? Which is they're gonna make changes. But here's the problem you run into actually, because sometimes people don't realize this. And I empathize sometimes with people who go into certain positions or with politicians who go in with the best of intentions. They're gonna change the world. And then reality hit them because things are so institutionalized, they can't really change it, right? It's hard to change. So is the change supposed to be in the JFF itself? Or should the changes be in the parishes, for example? The same dinosaurs who are leading the parishes, right? And that's people can understand that, which is it needs to be wholesale changes. But can you truly make those changes, given that you have electoral processes and some people control who votes for them because there's disinterest in some parishes? And where there's interest, people find a way to manage and put down those who may oppose them in a really meaningful way. So it's hard to make change, right? Maybe some changes need to be made in JFF itself, but I'm just telling you that sometimes we on the outside may criticize, but it's the structure is so put in place and it's so embedded. It's hard. It's trying to move the Titanic. It's hard to change it.
That is true. But Kranky, I heard you say something a while ago and it jolts something way back in my memory. The JFF, no fool, They're not fool. Let me tell you, the way they won that election, it proved a point that if they want to do it, they can do it. Because that winning that election and coming up with all the going into the nooks and crannies show that they can do it if they wanted to. So anything that anything that is breaking all of us hearts,
right,
are things that they really don't want to do. They don't want to do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they don't want
to talk to people good. They don't want to engage with the diaspora properly. Those are things that if they wanted to do it, believe me, they would
say we're the ones that want to do it because all we do is criticize. That's what they'll say. And look, people, are they wrong? They're not totally wrong. We do criticize quite a bit sometimes, and sometimes maybe it's too much. I don't know what the amount of criticism one should.
Because we have to run, we reach work. So want to make one point and then listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me tell you, you see, if we saw them doing one of 10 things that is plausible, we wouldn't beat them. Because we see stretches of things that they don't do at all. I mean, you see me here, I say Manningsman is good. Simon is good. What else can you say is good? Tell me two things apart from Simon and Manningsman that you can say is good.
Well, I'm not on the inside, so I want to be very careful before I say
No. But we on the outside who want to give them contribution, not see what we want to see. Because if they were passing around the hat, I see them doing something new, would make a contribution for no reason.
Yeah. Well, look, I think the
And,
JFF has reached out.
and my contribution is, you can term that advertisement.
Yeah.
Advertisement, although you know that some people will advertise although them things that they don't need it.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
because they want to give you and put the money in their pocket.
Yeah.
But we need to see something.
Yeah. No, look, I hope things get better. I mean, we all hope things get better, right? And they say they're doing stuff, we're just not being known, it's not being provided to us, so we won't have the insight. All right. Thanks for the call, man. Yeah, man.
Hope so. All right, Kranky.
All right, thanks. So people, we're transitioned to talking about the football, because I know some people are complaining that we only have about 20-something minutes left and we haven't talked about any football, any team. So I don't have I do not have the update with Jamal Lowe replacing Liam Bailey. I haven't seen the new Reggae Boys. We get these things from the press releases. I only have this. I don't have the update. It may have gone out. I haven't seen it. It hasn't come into my because I look for these things in my text, which is what I normally get media update from the JFF. I haven't gotten it, so I don't know if they have a new one. But this is this squad as I know it. As everyone knows, Jamal Lowe replacing Liam Bailey. So what we're going to try to do, people, as we normally do, is try to pick our team. Right? We're going to try to pick our team because we believe that we know more than the coach. So fans are. We know everything and we don't really know nothing. But we think we know everything. And them say we are YouTuber, we don't know nothing. I should say, I don't know anything. I shouldn't talk for all YouTubers. I'm not a football guru, like a football guru, and I'm coming to the chat. Football guru on TikTok are the generals here. They know more than I don't know anything. But as a know-nothing fan, I still want to have a perspective and a view and add my 2 cents. So you guys can start putting your team up, and we'll try to build our team as we normally do, right? And by the way, people, I'm here back tomorrow doing a watch along. I try to come up with a new, I don't know if this is work, a new squad builder. So let me know your team. So you know what? I'll guess team, right? I'll guess the goalkeeper. So what formation you think he's going to be playing tomorrow, by the way? I have 4-4-2 here. Do you guys agree with that? You guys agree with 4-4-2? I don't know what happened with this. What did I do here? I have a new thing in the people. You just can't see me. I don't know if it work it. Do you guys believe? Do you guys agree that's a 4-4-2? Everyone? 4-3-3? You think 4-3-3? Let me see who think 4-4-2. So you think Nicholson? So if it's a 4-3-3, no, that means that Nicholson up on the bench. You think Nicholson is on the bench? Why you guys think 4-3-3? I'm trying to change this. People, you gotta forgive me. It's a new thing I pick up. I know how to learn. Okay, here it is. So you guys think it's 4-3-3? Really? Okay. Or is that what you want? So who you have at right back then? Or should I just start putting the names in based on what we know? All right, spelling this right way. So you think Lembaki is at right back? Come, people, give me information. No? Not coming up, you know. I probably should use my old strat builder. He will not use 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. Why you guys think he won't use 2 center forward? Who do you believe are going to be 2 center halves? Let me hear your view, because I have my own view. I'm not going to pick my team. I hear you mention some names, and when coaches start mentioning names, I kind of get the view as to what they're thinking, right? So he did say Jamal Lowe will be able to show tomorrow. Do you think this as a starter or off the bench? Because he did mention that, right? He said Jamal Lowe is going to be able to show tomorrow. So do you guys believe that that's as a starter or is on the bench? So CC has Blake, Lati, Lowe, Pinnock. So you're benching Lembakisi, CC. Do people agree with CC that Lembakisi is going to be on the bench and Lati going to play right back? That's interesting. Lati and Pinnock in the middle. Why we get asked that game? We can put up there. Blake, Lati, Pinnock, Bell. So that's 3 at the back for Fire Gunner. Eagle saying 4-4-2. See, we have people, we are confused. We have no consensus. So that means we don't know what our formation is. 4-2-2, 4-3-3-1, 4-3-3, We're all over the place, people. That just goes to show. Right? I don't even know who to put up because we're saying Lati, we're saying, you know what? The left side of the center. So I'm gonna do this. There are some positions we know are set in stone, right? So I'm gonna put Pinnock here because we know that's set in stone. Some players we know are gonna play, even though. Do you guys believe it's Greg Lee or Amari Bell? Amari just came. Well, Amari's playing again, isn't he? So I'm gonna put Amari Bell here. I'm gonna put the one I'm sort of guaranteed will play. I'm gonna put the ones I think are guaranteed will play. Well, I'm not sure Lemby. I put Lemby in there. I'm gonna move Lemby out. But I must go with. I'm gonna put the ones I think are guaranteed would play. You guys can then give me a hard time. You guys can give me a hard time. I'm going to put the ones I think are guaranteed to play, right? Then you guys can tell me if I'm way off. We can come to the rest, whether it's 4-2, 4-2-3-1, 4-2-2. We can reposition this. I have no who idea is on the right. I'm gonna put Palmer here. What I probably should have done was just put my team out there, and then we can cut and slice it. I have no idea for the rest. Bobby Reed. So is Bobby Reed on the right or in the midfield? Okay, let's do Bobby Reed here. So then we have 3 positions open. Are you guys saying Low will start? I see Low will start. I see Low will start. Bless up, J. Ross. I see Pinnock and Bernard. We have no consensus, people. What do you guys think? Would he pick Bernard or would he pick Low? Because what Hogginson used to do is he compensated for that by putting Low in the midfield. I don't think this coach will put Low in the midfield. Not a midfielder. And Low was listed on the sheet as a defender. I'm not sure what that means, if it means anything. But I'm getting my call. Maybe somebody can help me. Good evening. Who am I speaking to?
Yes. Hello.
Yes?
Hey, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Are you finished? Do you want me to give you a call back when you finish Marco to starting 11?
Okay.
Then I can give you my
all right.
prediction.
All right. All right. Good. We can do that. Thanks. We can do that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. See, a very considerate caller. Owen Owen said Low's days are over. You think so? I'm reluctant to take Low at the team. I'm going to put K-Rod here. Some may put Russell, but I'm going to put K-Rod here. And I'm not seeing his name here. I know he's here someplace. I'm going to put K-Rod here. And then we have 2 positions open. I'm going to put Jamal Lowe here. Even though I have a funny feeling he's going to play Nicholson, but because he did mention Nicholson and he has two big forwards up top. But let me put Jamal Lowe for the time being. And then center half, I'm going to put Lowe. I just don't see him leaving him out. I think there's always going to be. So that's the team I have out there, people. 4-3-3. I have Nicholson now. And he can justify Nicholson by saying he's not playing any football now, right? He's not starting. He's not getting regular football. So this is a team I see, which is Blake in goal. But then I don't have Lati here, and there's no way Lati go on the bench. So do I take out Kira and put in Lati? I may have to do that. Do I take out Kira and put in Lati? Don't ask me how to do that either. I think I messed this up. What do you guys think? People, why you guys so anti-low? Lord. Why you guys so anti-low? That's not a good thing. You guys are very anti-low. No reason to be anti-low. I don't know why I can't take this out. Why you guys so anti-low? You guys don't think? So you think Bernard's gonna be here? That's what you guys are saying. You guys think Bernard's gonna be here? How do I do this? You know, I started using this new thing without checking to see how I delete. And it keeps taking me back. So people are thinking maybe Bernard here and maybe Lati here. I don't think Lati will be on the bench. I think Lati has played to deserve his place. So we'll have to remove. What people are suggesting is that Lowe would go, Anderson go, and Bernard and Lati would be here. But if we do that, we have one player who's locally developed in the team. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Lowe is going to start people. And I think Lati may replace, because I'm struggling to replace this, Lati may replace Anderson in the middle. I just don't see. I'm going to put Lati here. I always forget how to spell Lati name. I got to look it up. I tried to spell Lati name a couple of times and it wasn't working. I think I know how to, but I'm going to try to do it anyway. I'm going to look it up so I don't embarrass myself. I think Lati is going to be in the team. I put his name in it, it didn't delete it. I think Lati will be here. So let me guys know what you think. You're saying Bobby, Casey, and Jonathan, and Russell. Oh, you think 4-4-2 chorus. See, we'll never get consensus as to this team, people. We haven't had, first of all, we have formation challenges. No, it ain't coming off. I click on it, it's not coming off. And I press Control and reload, it ain't coming off. I just picked up this new squad builder. Okay. No, it wants me to move him. Now I want to get rid of. Okay, here it is. It's supposed to see. It's supposed to click out. It hasn't clicked out. I'm not sure what's happening here, but anyway, we'll talk about it. I'll go learn it the next time and come back and do a better job tomorrow. By the way, people, I'm doing a watch along tomorrow. Watch along starts at the game is at 8. So my watch along starts at 7. So it's not going to be regular tomorrow. Watch along starts at 7. People. So hopefully you can join me. Hope you can join me tomorrow, people. Because it should be a good game tomorrow. See, I put it in, it didn't come out. I'm not sure why. I'll have to go back and learn how to do this. I just picked this up today. No, the match is at 7 Jamaica time, which is 8 US time. I'm sorry, Real Madrid. I think it's 8 US time. I did look it up. It's on Paramount. So let me not confuse people. It's my understanding it was 8 Jamaica time. I mean, in the US. It's 8 o'clock in the US. So it's 7 Jamaica time. Michael Woburn said low plus any 10. I think that's how it worked to Michael. I think it's low plus any 10. Don't ever bet Islamic. So who's gonna play, people? So you guys are saying Anderson gonna get benched. Maybe I'll just find another squad builder because I don't see how to remove this one. It says X here. Now we just click on the X. And why does it get this pop up on my thing? It said 3 dead, 4 injured in Jamaica gun attack. And they can't kill each other, boy. Lord. Come like no kids in a Georgia kill off one another for no reason. And you only have one life to live. Why do you guys keep doing that? Not a good thing. But no, at the end of the day, this is a good team. Look, Lowe is going to play. Let's be real, people. Lowe is going to play. Anderson may not play. Limby may play. Lowe is going to play. I know some people are not supporting Lowe playing, but he's going to play. I don't see how he doesn't play. I just don't. I don't see how he doesn't play. I think he's going to play, and I think, yes, some people may not like it, and yes, some people may be concerned, but he's going to play. He's going to play. So I think we should just get over it and just say, you know what? It is what it is. I need to get the person out. It's not coming out. I think Lowe is going to play. I don't think we should get all concerned. Kranky, it looks like 4-4-2 because I can see you bench Bobby and Gray. What? Bobby and Gray are automatic starters. And CC saying Lowe will play. And I agree with CC. I do not see how Lowe doesn't play. I don't see how Lowe doesn't play. Let me take this off and try to, maybe I'll find another one. This thing is annoying me. I don't know why. I thought I had this thing covered and I can't get him off. I don't see how Lowe doesn't play, people. Seriously. He's played. Has he been benched in any game apart from when he was out when his family member got sick? And he still came on the Mexico game. Wasn't the best of change. But how do we think he's not going to play him? Yeah, I did see the fake and him going around him. So Avis is saying Lati and Casey in midfield, DM and CDM. No. Yeah, Casey will play the 8. That's why you always play the 8. Casey will play the 8. I'm gonna put up another squad builder because this one is annoying me. No, Casey will play the 8. Definitely. Casey will play the 8. And I do think that yeah, he played the 8. He played the 8. I don't know how we're gonna do this though. Because the coach hasn't given us any real hint about who's gonna play where, right? He said, but he did say he knows his starting team. That he did say. There was no ambiguity in his comments. He says he knows his starting team. So I mean I can do this again. He says he knows his starting team. So I have no doubt that he's going to play. If he's continuing what has been done before, which he sort of alluded to, then why wouldn't he keep most of the same players who played in the Copa and played in the Gold Cup? Why wouldn't he do that? I mean, the regular starters, I should say. Why wouldn't he do that? I don't see why he wouldn't. I don't see why he wouldn't. It would make a lot of sense to me. So I'm gonna put up another team, people, which one I know how to manage squad builder. But I would think that's what he would do. There are people who believe that Bernard would start. How do you guys think that Lowe is not gonna start? Is there any coaches come in, whether it was Tapper or Hallgrimson or anybody who didn't play Damien? Really? I can't recall a coach who came in and benched him. Maybe you guys can remind me. I can't remember a coach who has done that. So now you're talking about. I don't think McClaren is a. If I look at how Man U play, I'm gonna leverage that, and think that if he leverages his philosophy at 20 and England and Man U, that even though I think England struggled with what to do with Lampard, Scholes, and Gerrard, that didn't really work. But I don't see him not. I don't see him not playing Lowe. I just don't. No matter what. So Lowe divides opinion, right? Lowe got us to the. There's no denying that Lowe got us to. Lowe got us to the semifinal of the Nations League. It was his play, his performance that got us there. So I'm not sure. And that transition and that goodwill is there for a while, people. That goodwill is not going anywhere. I have a feeling this. I'm putting the team up, people. I'm gonna put it up in 2 seconds. The team I think is gonna play. I'm using Squad Builder, but I think Jamala will get some game tomorrow. So let me see if I can put this up now. Would this be the team I picked? No. So here's the team I have up there, people. Now I can deal with Squad Builder. I can't deal with the other previous one. This is the team I have up there, right? Antonio, and this is a team that's been playing. He said he's going to continue what's been done before. If he's going to continue what's been done before, this is the team, isn't it? You guys tell me. Apart from Bernard in and out, where Low sits, but the only change I see is a Low Bernard change, possibly, and that's not going to happen to me. That's the rest of the team. Now, when we played 3 at the back against the US, we were great defensively. We weren't that good offensively. Right? We weren't good offensively. We weren't good offensively. So, I don't know. Michael is saying Blake, Bell, Pinnock, Low, Lemby, Lati, Casey, Bobby. So you don't have Nicholson. That's the only difference between my squad and yours. I'm just picking what I think the coach is going to pick. Now, what would I pick? I would play 4-3-3, and I'd play Jamalo on one wing and Gray on the other wing. And I'd play Lati, Casey, and Bobby in the middle. And I'd probably play this defensive line or replace Low with Bernard. That'd be my team. But I'm thinking this is what the coach is going to pick. I think this is what the coach is going to pick. He said, Low missed the Canada game in Jamaica, and a YouTuber said, God answered his prayers. You saved her. He missed the Canada game in Jamaica, not because of footballing reason. Was it because of footballing reason? I don't think it was footballing reason. I think he played a game and did he play a game when he got removed? Because he made a couple of mistakes. I'm trying to remember the games. I think he played a couple of games. He made a couple of mistakes. He didn't start the next game, and he came in, but he played brilliant against Canada. He was sick. Okay, I don't think he's ever been out for footballing reason. Yeah, he was sick, and the Nations League game where he came in, he missed the entire training camp apart from one day. I think the coach said he only trained one game. Someone said he didn't play in the Mexico game. Yeah, but was that for footballing reason or otherwise? There's no way he doesn't play in a game for footballing reason. None. Hasn't been with any coach that could play for Jamaica. Yes, Real Madrid. I think we're all curious. And as fans, some are going to love it, some are not going to love it. Some going to love it, some not going to love it. CC said, Low is not as awful as people make him to be. He's not an awful footballer. I just think people are doing it. I don't think people are saying he's awful. Well, some people may have a different view, but I think it's more of people always have the view that Low is prone to making a mistake. And way back when I interviewed Low and someone said I said he was a walking red card. I'm not sure he appreciated that, but he was showing us the stats to say it may appear that way, but it wasn't really actual, right? It wasn't a fact. And we have seen him got some red card, right? We've seen him got some red card. And we don't like our center half, people in the middle of the park, to be getting red cards, even though they should be physical. But he didn't take what I say personally. I mean, I saw him in Dallas. He was pretty cordial and engaging, actually. But I do believe that he makes rash judgments sometimes. I do believe his athleticism get him in trouble, right? Sometimes when you're athletic, you think you can do anything and everything. And sometimes patience is a virtue in football. You don't see Pinnock rushing where angels fear to tread. He basically observe, wait, and then make a decision. I think Low rushing. He may not agree with me, but I think he rushes in sometimes versus a much more cautious approach to defending. Because sometimes when you're athletic, you just think you can cover everything. And it doesn't work well. But I think he's going to start. And I would expect those people who are going to start know they're going to start already. Right? It shouldn't be any surprise when he's naming his team. He probably told the people who are going to start, so get them in the frame of mind to think about the game, what they're going to be doing. But the only thing that is interesting for me is the coach says that Jamal Lowe has to show, I'm going to put in my own words, that he belongs here and that he'll be able to do so tomorrow. So does it mean he starts or he comes in the game? Now, Norman ain't starting Real Madrid. I don't care how improved he is. Real Madrid, there's something called continuity. And even though the coach is new, Norman doesn't have enough chance to show him what he can do to start him. That's my view. So you could be a brilliant footballer, but you got to pay your dues. And Norman hasn't paid his dues yet. Which Blake can load the bench? Which Blake are you talking about? Sport Chat, Ja? Blake is a guaranteed starter. There's zero chance of Blake being on the bench. Let me repeat this, people. Zero chance, not on 99.9, unless he's sick or injured, he's the starting goalkeeper. And rightly so. I like Jamal Wade. Better with his feet. But your first job as a keeper is to stop the ball from going to goal. And by the way, we play flexible football. Right? We play flexible football, so it shouldn't be an issue. We play flexible football, people. So as flexible footballers, then you don't need to keep it to be playing on from the back. You just, what do you say? Long pass. Even though you look at the percentages, it's long ball, coach. It's not long pass. Long pass, you expect it to your destination. Long ball, you're kick and hope. So you can say, people can say YouTubers, you're negative, but we've been watching the football. Why do people think so many people in the media room and so many people in the various chat for the various YouTubers are asking the same question? It's a theme. What is your style of play? What's your philosophy? What's your style of play? Okay, you can tell us what formation you're going to play will give us some inclination. Because if we know it's 4-4-2, it's a long ball game. If 4-3-3, we have more confidence, it may be something different. No, Real Madrid, what I'm saying is this. He talks as if he's going to start low, Jamal Lowe, who we say now is playing at Sheffield Wednesday, or was it Sheffield United? One of them he's playing. Because I think he was in the Welsh team or before, and he just moved. So he's saying he's playing regular now, and he knows him from history. So what he's basically inferring is that he's going to play tomorrow because he's got to prove himself, right? And he's going to give him a chance to do so. But the question is, will he start him? Will he start Nicholson? Because then he talks about his two center forwards and how big they are and how tall they are, whatever it is, their physicality, their prominence up front. So then does he mean going to start both? I don't know. And that's part of the problem, people. You should only have about, it's not a problem. As we said before, there's only two positions I see which are open. It's the right center half and the, whether it's a right wing or a two up front. 2.5 or 2.9. So Junior said Jamalo starts. So who are you benching then, Junior? If Jamalo starts, who are you benching? Who are you putting on the bench? If you're saying Jamalo starts, who are you putting on the bench? I don't know. We could go. I don't think he's going to go 4-3. I think he's going to play. The man says continuing what was done before. Isn't that what he said? Owen, I agree 100%. It's two Titanics. I don't think it works. I think it also affects your ability to keep the ball because you have two people to me are out of the play. Who is better, Kranky? J-Lo or Bowser? Wow, Real Madrid. Why are you trying to put me on the spot, Real Madrid? If I was to put my neck on the block, it depends. Nicholson has 19 goals and 50-something stars for Jamaica. The best of anybody playing currently by a good margin, actually. It's not even close. So one could say, okay, you guys, you keep saying I'm not good enough if I'm Bowser. I'm not playing in the football. But who can match my goal tally? From a racial standpoint, Antonio doesn't. Bailey doesn't. Maybe Gray. But the numbers, I don't think we have enough of a sample size for Gray to be in that conversation. Nobody else. So Bowser's scoring suggests, even though he's not playing, it's like the whole Ravel discussion. I think Ravel should be in this team, by the way. Even if he's in the beach sunning, he should be in the team until we find better. So, I don't know. Bowser's numbers speak for themselves. What did he have? 19 and 50 something, right? his ratio of goals per game is the best of anybody for a good while now. So one could ask the question, why shouldn't he be the starter? Right? Or being the team playing? Why are we saying that he should be on the bench, for example, when his numbers are the best of everybody? Not better, the best of any other player that we can conceive in the national team. I think his number is it's less than 1 in 3, if I remember correctly. And if so, why should he be on the bench? Now, I would say this. Remember the last time he played, and I was showing you the stats? I think he touched the ball once in the first half in a game. It was either the Ecuador game or the Venezuela game, but once or twice in the first half, in the entire half of football. And he's playing off the striker. So it shows you either he's not playing enough football to get that rhythm and the repetition, or something is a play. But that was during the summer. So I don't know, people. I don't know why this advert keep popping up. I don't know, people. That's an interesting one. No, I would agree that I don't think they should play together. Look, the best team to me is a 4-3-3. And I'm going to contradict myself by saying, given that Antonio is playing football, and Nicholson have the better stats, that he comes off the bench to replace Antonio when he gets tired, or when we try to protect him because he gets injured a lot. And he play 4-3-3 and play Jamal Lowe at wide. I think it should be we do a 4-3-3. Gray moves up. Jamal Lowe comes in for Nicholson. Bobby Reed, Palmer, and Latti in the middle. Because I like Bobby Reed in my middle. Because I want workhorse in my middle. I want workhorse in the middle. I don't want my middle to be just people who can just be technical and can move the ball. I want people to be in there to disrupt the flow of the opposition. And I'm not sure we have enough of that. I think Latti does that. I don't think Palmer does that enough. I think Bobby Reed does that. Bobby Reed is a good player. 19 and 50. Everybody miss goal, Caribbean. Everybody miss goal. Don't use the miss goal thing, because everybody miss goal. I see Haaland miss sitters sometime. Even you would score. So don't talk the misses. Forward job is to miss goal. But they also conversion ratio. I got to put the goal in the net. And he scored goals. He's got 19 and 50 something. That's a very, very good ratio. A very, very good return, goal return. So we can't say he doesn't produce, but he's not been playing a lot of football, which may give this coach an excuse not to start him. Says use midfield. So who is not in the midfield? What are you talking about midfield in the midfield? In a 4-4-2, you can call it what you want, but it's called midfield nowadays. And Bobby Reed is not a one. The reason why Leicester want Bobby Reed, the reason why Fulham love Bobby Reed, he can play right back, he can play right wing, he can play anywhere apart from in the goal, frankly. That's why they love him. Because they want versatile player, as this coach say, flexible players. So no, Bobby Reed is not a one-dimensional player. Bobby Reed doesn't fit any position, but he fits every position. He's one of those players. I don't fit anywhere. It's like me talking about Havertz and Smith Rowe. They're not 10s, they're not 9s, they're not wingers, but they're very good footballers. That's Bobby Reed. Now, Casey gonna play. I don't agree with you, Joe Grind. Casey gonna play. Russell, Kira. I don't think people calling for Russell. Russell just barely got back in the squad. We abandoned Russell after Gold Cup for the longest. The man left low out of his starting 11. Good evening. Hello. I think you're talking. I must have dropped your call. No. Can you hear? I can't hear you. Good evening. I'm hearing background noise, but I'm not hearing a voice. Hello. I think my call is having some phone challenges.
Oh man, I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly now. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Everything sounds good and things.
Okay. So what do you have to say?
I was just calling you because you said the prediction of the squad.
Yes. Yeah. We're doing a squad prediction. Yes. So what's your prediction? Hello? I think my caller hasn't paid his phone bill.
For me?
I couldn't hear you. We lost you a while ago.
Yes, I'm saying the back four that you have.
Yes.
For me.
Okay.
And the midfield with Latibo there, I wouldn't normally go for that in this type of match because we are more explosive, so I wouldn't really go for Latibo there.
So what would you do with Lati? Put him on the bench?
I mean, yes, because if you look on the team, we are.
And who would you put in Lati's place?
Who am I going to put in Lati's place?
Yep.
I would give a chance with the youngster Kiroy because he's a more natural midfielder than Bobby Reed. So I will go with him. Bobby give us more.
So what formation are you playing? What formation are you playing?
I'm playing a 4. I will go for a 4-1-4-1-4, man. To me personally.
4-1-4-1, but you don't have a CDM to play 4-1-4-1. Who's your CDM?
Kiroy. Just said that.
Oh, okay.
I will put him as a number 6. And he can go up and down. He got the legs to do all that. So I will play him as a number 6. And I will play Bobby in the midfield with Casey Palmer as a 2 number 8. And I would play Demari outside. And I will play I'll give Dixon the start. Even though I know, I'm just
You're gonna start Dixon? Whoa. Really?
I mean, yes, because if you look on it, Kranky.
No, this is a seasoned coach, and seasoned coach like seasoned players. You know that, right? Mature coaches are very conservative, no matter what they tell you. So you have K-Roy middle, and so what are you doing, Lati now? You're benching Lati?
Yes, I would bench him.
And then you put who beside Lati? Beside Anderson. Sorry, beside Anderson.
Yeah, I said I would put Bobby as a number 8 and Casey Palmer as a number 2-8.
All right, so I'm gonna put your team up and let the people grade your team. I'm gonna let them grade your team. So you have Antonio up front, I assume.
Yes. You
have Gray on the left. You have Casey Palmer playing on the 6, the 8.
Correct.
And then you have Anderson, Bobby Reed, Jamal Lowe at wide. So people grade this team. Who am I speaking to again? I should know this. All right. It's his team. He's playing. You have a little sound in the background. Don't let them copyright me and cancel me. You have to turn that down. So he's playing a 4-1-4-1.
Yes, 4-1-4-1.
4-1-4-1 with Anderson playing that CDM role and playing the pivot. And then we have, it's not a bad team, actually. What do you guys think of this team? What grade do you give this team? It's not a bad team. Jesus, Lord. No. Carla. Too much noise in the background, Carla.
Too much noise?
Yeah. You have to mute the thing. So they're not giving the best numbers, and you're getting 4s and 5s. Why are you guys giving them 4 and 5s? I assume that they don't like your single pivot. This is basically only 2 of these players are going to be out this team. I mean, I think Lati going to be in the team, but
I mean, all right.
I think you guys wait before you say anything, Kaka. You guys need to look at the team and game before you start getting on 4 and 5. He has a 4-1-4-1. We won't play 4-1-4-1, but he has 4-1-4-1, right? All the players we have on here, apart from say Anderson, that's the only player here you would say, you know what, given his youth. But most of their players would be starting. Jamalo may not start. Are you concerned about the formation or the players on the field?
I think that's what they're grading me on based on my formation. But if you look on it, it's really more of 4-3-3. But I'm playing more of wing and more compact, explosive attacking style of playing, and more a pivot. I'm put Kiroy more in a pivot number 6. And more explosive going attacking.
Yeah, you could play it could be a 4-2-3 as you're saying, because the 3 midfielders could interchange and do whatever the hell they do in the midfield, and then you'd have Lowe, Gray, and Antonio up front. So 4-1-4-1 is not materially different from 4-3-3. Right. All depends on how you may set up as a 4-1-4-1 and end up being a 4-3-3, given how you defend and how you want to play going forward. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm just looking at it in that perspective. A lot of people doesn't really know,
but you say you're gonna start. Wait, were you starting Dixon or Lowe? Wait. Were you starting Dixon or Lowe?
If I would start Dixon over Lowe?
Yeah.
Yes, because Dixon
right.
more.
That's what. Okay. No, me know what I'm kill you. That's what I'm kill you.
Yes, because you look at it, Dixon more the threat more is more explosive going forward. Look, Jamal Lowe is, more like a number 9/false 9. You look at it, he probably.
Why is Dixon not coming out? No, I think that's why they're killing you. They're saying there's no way in you know what. I don't know why Dixon is not coming up. He's at isn't he at, where is he now? Charlton or wherever it is? Or Sheffield?
Charlton, I think.
Why isn't Dixon not coming up? I think I'm spelling his name right. I don't know why he's not coming up. That doesn't make sense. He should be here. That's why I don't spend a lot of time on this one, because the other one from the UK would have Dixon in it, because I did put Dixon before. This one doesn't have Dixon.
Crank, I know you're a big Bobby Reed fan, and I don't have anything against you.
But you don't like Bobby Reed?
No, it's not like I don't. He's just a player that very flexible, and that the edge of a lot of players. I mean, Bobby Reed is a good player. I don't have anything against Bobby. I don't have anything against Bobby. He's a good player, but I'm just stating that when you look on it, Kranky, I think Bobby is a flexible player. Can give you, goals here and there, and then give you defending. But when you see the more we are going forward with this new look of this new Jamaica team, with the Greenwood, with the Isaac Aiden, with the Godfrey, and with the Tyree Mitchell, do you still see Bobby starting in this team in the 2026?
So people,
I know.
So people, Kaka is making a great point. People, you guys think about this. So if the names I read out at the inception of this program, they started the program. I talked about the people that the star indicated that Ricketts suggests that our passports or papers are being processed by PICA, which would include 2 wingers. One could be a center forward, which is Mason Greenwood and Nelson.
Yeah.
Who are probably going to start over everybody here. Maybe Gray may still hold his spot given his history and his goodwill that we have for him, but he could even get replaced. And then you're going to bring in a Hayden, for example, if he comes to play the 6. And then you may bring in some other players that were talked about before. Godfrey, Holgate, and others. It's going to be interesting. The coach will look. It's a good thing. So the coach will have some dilemmas. But if you've been in this team for a while, like you're Damian Lowe, for example, or you're Anderson, for example, or you're Bobby Reed, will you find yourself on the bench? Now, I would say the middle still has some flexibility, or you're Latti, for example, because Pinnock's going to play. If Tyreek Mitchell come, Amari Bailey's game is not guaranteed. If the other kid from Bowman come, Lamborghini's game is not guaranteed. If you're on the right, Bailey's game is probably guaranteed. And you guys know my feeling about that. Mason Greenwood game is going to be guaranteed. And Antonio game, though his stats doesn't make it guaranteed. So it's going to be good problems to have. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting, people. But it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem for the fans and for the coach. And somebody's mentioned Dujon Sterling. I didn't hear about Dujon Sterling, though, and being part of the people being pursued. I didn't hear about Dujon Sterling.
Cranky, I'm gonna let you go now because you say I only got 5.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the call. I appreciate the team, but I don't agree with you on the Dixon thing. I'm a Dixon fan, by the way, but I don't think Dixon's gonna be. I don't think Dixon's gonna start. I don't think he's gonna start.
Here's the thing. Is it because he's a Jamaican passport that he don't look on other countries? Look on the likes of Spain with Yamal. I mean, if he got the talent, why don't give him the chance to explore?
So here's the difference between Dixon and Yamal, for example. Yamal proved himself at Barcelona in the highest league in Spain. Dixon is now at Charlton. When he gets an opportunity, if he plays and does well, and you have a better benchmark. You may talk about benchmark. You need to have the right benchmark to judge the talent. Does the kid have talent? There's no doubt about that. But how will he perform when the level gets higher? How will he perform? That's the question. If he knocks the ball out of the cover at Charlton and he goes to the Premier League or he's in the Championship doing well, then that's a different discussion when you hit the ball off the cover, right? Because Championship players are viewed not the same as Premier League players, but if you produce there well, people can see the transition. If you don't, it becomes more interesting. So I don't know actually when we talk about this, which is he may look good in the Manning Cup. He may look good in sometime he plays against the Dominicas of the world, some of the qualifiers. But when you play against the US or Canada or Mexico or Costa Rica or Panama, how will he look? He didn't get a lot of game time in some of those games. He got a little bit of time. And he has talent, but we got to see the talent on a more sustainable basis. We haven't seen it yet. So.
Well, okay. We'll see with time. But
Yeah,
I feel like you have to give him a chance because he's very young.
Yeah.
And
You know what? Good point, Kaka. I hear you. Thanks, Kaka. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, man. So here's a question, people. Here's a question, which we haven't heard. Here's $1 million question. Are these games being played to assess the squad and who he has? Or are we really focused on trying to win the Nations League because there's money involved? Is he using these games to say, you know what? I'm going to give most players here an opportunity to prove themselves, even though I know what to do at the club level. I want to see them play within this team. I want to see their ability. I want to see how they play. I want to see they engage on the field. I want to build up my style of, let me stop saying style of play because I don't have no idea if you're doing that. I want to put something on the field to see how it works. And then I'm going to put people in and out to see how it works. But Owen, if you're trying to do both, something has to give, right? You got to sacrifice something. You got to sacrifice something. Unless the competition is not that good, you got to sacrifice something. Because as the competition gets more stiff and more challenging, it's going to be harder to play everyone. Will K-Roy get a game, for example? Or do I play the regulars? Because if you watch all the game and watch how we do in Copa, he may just play the regulars, right? Because they got us to Copa. They played well against the US. They should have won that game. Could have won that game. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Without that unfortunate own goal. So I don't know. It probably is going to try to do both, but it's hard to do both. And I was trying to get some hint from him as to what he's thinking. The Jamalo drop I thought was interesting when he said Jamalo doesn't have the chance to prove himself. And I'm like, well, he's a guaranteed starter. But then he mentioned Boyz and Antonio and the two of them up front and the size they have and the long pass versus long ball. Then I got more confused. I was hoping he'd say, look, this is an observation game for me. It's my first game. I'm not going to overfeed them about what I'm trying to do. It's the first window. I'll be having discussion with them when they leave here to go back to their clubs. What we're going to think about a style of play going forward, and we're going to figure out where to start. And even though style of play is hard to implement with national teams from ground level, we're going to try to figure something out and build on that because we know we have World Cup qualifiers coming up next year sometime, and we have to be in a good place and be optimum to make sure we get maximum points from each game. And by the way, I want to solidify my core team, my core 15, 16, because as he said, the door is never closed. Good evening. Who am I speaking to?
Jason. Good evening.
Good evening. Did you say evening or evening, Jason? Which one did you say?
Evening.
All right, good evening. How are you doing?
Thank you. Why you don't want to drop your friend? Yo, we know what's going on with those big
Jason. Let me say this, people. So Jason say that I want to people. Why are people saying Low and I? We're not friends. I've never talked to Low outside of interviewing my management program. Or when I saw him in Dallas, we're not people. Let's get this straight. We're not friends. I don't know Low that well to be Low's friend. Let me just say this though. I am playing the team I think is gonna play. There's a difference between who I would play versus who I think is gonna play. We're supposed to be thinking the team that was gonna play, not who we think will necessarily play. Right? Who we think we want to play, per se.
I thank you.
Yes.
What I want to do, take your feeling out of it and pick your team.
I must admit, I vacillate between Lowe and Bernard. I'll be honest. Why?
Yeah, so
yeah, I could go either way, Lowe or Bernard. I'm not fixed on either one of them. I think both of them have deficiencies. Even though they're good players, I think they both have deficiencies. I think they're both very, very aggressive. I think they both are prone to mistakes. So I could go with either of them. Now, if you say, AK Kranky, why is so one-dimensional? Have you thought about Lati playing beside Pinnock? I'd be like, that's interesting.
Yeah, me think about that too.
You know, that's interesting.
But me think he out to a call. I think him can pass on the ball back, back more than low.
Yeah, I think Lati is a bit better passer than Low. Yeah, I think Lati is a better
So
passer than Low and Bernard. Yes, I think
so
so.
we need that. We need that. And me think we're gonna see a more composed ball game, like more comfortable on the ball, because your coach emphasize on protect the ball.
Right.
You
Yeah,
get me? So
But there's one thing about me telling you to protect the ball. Can you protect the ball?
you have to protect the ball.
Let me say
Yes or
something,
no?
people. Let me say something. Do you guys remember one point of the Ecuador game, and this was a strong Ecuador team, where I think when they scored, did they score? Yeah, we dominated possession for a while. You guys remember that? I don't know if you guys remember that. And we looked really good on the ball. We dominated possession for a good part of maybe have been the second half in that game. And my question was, why can't we do that more often?
Well, if you have a coach emphasize that every day, every training,
Right.
then it will happen. And who can do it? Either they go with bench or them get left out of training.
Yeah, I'm getting beaten for the low thing, people. I'm getting beaten for the low thing, and I probably deserve my beating, so I'm not going to argue with them. People say I got soft on low since the management interview, and you know what? Here, I'm going to say this, people, because you guys don't seem to realize this, actually, and this probably could be true. So I'm not going to sit here tonight. Here's what happens when you meet people. Actually, I think there's a reluctance to go over the critical on them, right or wrongly. So I'll call myself out for that. I actually believe that when you meet somebody in person, and especially if they're nice to you. I think, by the way, I met all these players, so I'm not sure why I don't try to be, I met most of them actually. I met most of them, but yeah, you probably have a reluctance to meet them. Yeah.
If you was a coach, I see him think that I'm to you.
Probably. I'm not gonna. Especially that I think because he also bring leadership to the team. So I'm not gonna sit here and say no, Jason's wrong and Owen is wrong. I'm not gonna say that.
It's hard, Kranky. It's hard, but this one sometimes we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't want to beat the player and go overly critical. I think he has value to add in the team, but I can see the view that Lati or Bernard should replace him in the defense. I can see that.
Yeah, all right, Michael. Low for come on, went and we have a side on 2-0. I don't want to see out the game. He come on like 70 minutes.
Okay.
You get me? But me not see him as a starter in our side right now.
Okay. All right. I hear you. And I respect your decision, your perspective, actually. And I can see why.
And guess what now? Dixon over Jamal Lowe.
I could see that too, but I don't think that's going to happen though. Because the man said he knows Jamal Lowe and he's a big, what he said, he's a big talent. Remember, when that coach starts saying you're a big talent, in the public domain, that means I'm rate you. That means he's more likely going to play you. Yeah, he's a big talent. He says a big talent.
He see him a while back as a forward and as a winger.
Yeah. He's basically saying he respects the quality of the player and he got to prove himself. And he says he get a chance tomorrow to do so. That means he's going to play him. The question is when he's going to play him. Is he starting him or he coming off the bench? All right? That's the thing.
Why, right now, this is the idea of a whole heap of peer pressure till 2026 done.
Yeah, it is, but you know what? We're going to get more players. Some of these players will not be, most of these will probably be here, but a few may not be. I'm telling you, if all the players coming who they're trying to recruit, our sister, who we're trying to recruit, if all of them come in, it's going to be an interesting team. And I think if the team blends, it'll give some teams in CONCACAF a lot of worries, no matter what team it is. If all those players come in and play up to their potential and play as a unit, it'll be a much more competitive team. And look, even though the team lost in Copa, and we weren't necessarily on the front for the last time, you got to remember, Mexico beat us 1-0. They're the better team, but we held our own. Ecuador, we got a penalty, which we didn't get. We got a goal we scored, which we didn't get. So, and I think the Venezuela team, the team just didn't perform against Venezuela.
The team just never perform in a Copa America. I don't know why. I don't know if I should agree with mine never did it. Him just never give him all as a coach. But I guess him leave with team. Is just went on. You have a woman and him leave you. I ain't even know say leaving, but him still do things there.
I wouldn't know about that, but I'll take your view. I'll take your perspective. I wouldn't know about that, but I'll take your view on that.
I'll go and listen to it.
All right, there, man. Thanks for calling, Jason. Appreciate it. Yeah. So people, here what Float said. So I'm gonna read what Float says, because Float is on point. Float says, Kranky, that's absolutely true. Meeting low and just sitting down talking to the guy. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Float. And maybe that's why I've been criticized about having him in my team. Because here's why. I've said this a couple of times. I think he's a good player. I'm not going to buy people saying that you're not getting contract to go to Egypt and contract to go Saudi and contract to go here, and it's people think you can't play some football. Now, I know he's on the bench at Philly sometimes. But a lot of time the comparison between like a Bernard and a Latti, I think Latti's probably the better of all of them, the three actually, even though he's short. I think he's probably the better because he can play in the midfield as a halfway decent footballer, even though Latti didn't impress that much in midfield initially, but he impressed of late, especially in the Nations League and especially in Copa. Especially the game we played where we were down and then we were getting run over. He changed the formation and put Latti in midfield and the game changed. Right? I think that was against Ecuador actually. So at the end of the day, I do think Lowe is a good player, but we seem to have a lot of people who are not necessarily in Lowe's corner, which is interesting. Brian Burke saying, it's about time Jamal, bless up Brian, Jamal gets a fair shot. Don't understand why he was constantly being disrespected by Tapa, Grimm, or Meron. I don't know, Brian, but Brian, he hasn't really hit the... So here's the thing, Brian. When you get a chance and you know your game is not sure, you got to go out there and run your heart out and produce. And look, Gray hasn't done well the last time he came. But when he played in Copa, he was ridiculously good. And you have goodwill from that, right? Good evening, caller. Hello?
Go on, Kranky.
Hey, world boss, yes, sir. A world boss, a world traveler. Which one? A world traveler.
World traveler.
So, world traveler, you have 5 minutes though. What you have to say? Tell me what you have to say.
5 minutes. You know, say, actually, studio me there, you know.
You in the studio? Wait. So, wait. World traveler. You have bandul, you know. Because me don't tell someone to be a DJ, right? And you got studio, nothing call me. Me don't understand. You know, say Kranky, you got studio.
You can't catch a flight. You can't catch a flight. I reach a
too
Jamaica
late.
fast.
Too late. Too late for me come. Because you know, me I work on my DJ thing. I'm my next profession. Eh?
Well, as we tell you what you say.
Nobody discourage me. Nobody discourage me.
No. You know, say the other day, me never tell you that in a bad way, you know.
Okay.
The karaoke thing, you know.
You tell me, so we're going to do karaoke. You say me not ready. You say me not ready. We're going to do karaoke. Go in a bar, go sing. That's what you tell me. If it's the music thing. That's what you tell me now. In a nice way, though. In a nice way. Digestible way.
But bar thing is not a bad thing. You know.
But more make money from it. Hey, people, let me say this before we go further. I got my first check from YouTube today. My first check. It was, I'm going to tell you, it's $101 and I calculated. It worked out to be $1.02 an hour. Let me repeat that again, people. $1 and 2 cents. How much Jamaica dollar? About 150 something. So if I do that for the entire year, $1 and 2 cents an hour for all the time you put in, I'm not want to give me no like. Hey, the likes them cost more than the money I get from YouTube. Wait, no stop. Stop, people. That's before taxes. But I'm saying take out taxes, but my tax rate are higher than what I might take out for. So I have to pay some more money. All right, anyway,
you have to put in the work. But you have to put in the hours, put in the work.
But if I get $1 hour, I put in work for me, just give up.
No, but the whole thing you need more views. That I think is how much people see watch it.
But the thing, world traveler, likes generate views, and if people don't want to give me no likes generate views.
But how much people say you have track at a show night? Like how much people are watching now?
About 200 and something.
See it? The Englishman have all 7 and 9 and 12 and 15,000 people are watching.
All right. I've got to work on that. That means if I do something about Jamaica football, because we have 15,000 people in Jamaica watch football. 15,000 at the stadium. Go ahead.
That's how much I have to tell you, say, some of them Englishmen and some of them man, you have to start a link with them man who have the views, who have subscribers, thousands of subscribers, and make them start put you on to for them subscribers start subscribe to your.
Yeah. No,
channel.
I need to do a better job of trying to promote the channel, and I'm gonna work on it. But it's been...
one of them not gonna help you that way.
No, man,
them think small too. Them think small too, you know. Because even Simon in a long time, I think Simon would have at least 100,000 subscribers already. I don't think.
No, but here's the problem that we're running into. Right, we don't seem to realize we cater to the Jamaica audience, so it's very difficult. We just cater to Jamaica audience. You're talking Jamaica football, and you don't have a very expansive Jamaican community watching your thing for you to get that number. But there are people, coaches that have 30-something thousand, but love is track and field.
And he's an Arsenal man. They have troops them and Robbie them in England man. They never start link up with you know.
Yeah. I will do more. Arsenal, I will do more.
Flawless. This youth named Flawless now is a Man U fan, but them man have any kind of people on them show. You don't have to be a Man U supporter for them on them show.
Okay.
And the same Saeed. Well, Saeed, the film program, Man Them Talk, is really a Man U program that's still.
Okay.
But them have other programs with other people, them join up with other people. Seeing other fans.
Yeah. Now look, it will. I believe it will happen. If I stay on it, it will happen eventually. But I'm not the most patient person, so. I'm gonna do basketball. When basketball starts, I may even start doing NFL. In fact, the game I was supposed to stop before the game started, and the game started 8:20. And the game started early. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch Lamar Jackson play against the GOAT. Well, the GOAT to be. Yeah. The GOAT.
NFL.
Yeah.
NFL.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do basketball definitely. I'm not sure about NFL yet. I've been following NFL like I used to, like religiously, and I like to be very informed about a topic before I start jump and talk about it.
Yeah. Well, when just catch up on the show, I never really hear what you talk about. So it's the low part me catch.
Okay.
I'm on my 2 cents with we talk about Damian Lowe.
Yes, Damian Lowe.
All right, say Cassie, about three Gold Cups ago, when Damian Lowe was the captain for the Reggae Boyz, remember?
Yeah.
He was a big time center for him. Really run the squad them time there. And him get suspended for the semifinals against America. Yeah.
Yeah.
He made up on a yellow card. He was on a yellow card.
Yes,
and
I remember
one.
And he was the big. You're right about that actually. Your memory is correct. He was the big player. Yeah, man. Him that play wicked them time, man. Run the squad and yes.
That one game when don't play against America, the team performed so poorly. The one game when we play, him get suspended for and the team perform. I know people are right off Damian Lowe just like that.
Well, they're saying that we have improvement in the team, and therefore, if we have that improvement, should he now be replaced by some younger, younger, better, quicker, fitter, whatever?
Some of them Englishmen who win the program a long time need to go to,
Like which one? Tell me one.
I can't tell you one man.
Who?
When me hate to see in my team in my lineup in the back line. It's that brother Hector.
Yeah, Michael Hector.
Him.
But when he came back, he played well,
Him forget dash for a long time, Long time before with that brother.
No, man, he got better. He got better.
He got better, man. From him cast with that Gold Cup. You see, from him cast with that Gold Cup. And a Schaefer.
You can't hold against him.
How you talk about, man? A man can make 2 mistakes just like that to cast 2 goals.
Yeah, I know that.
Center of and ball just roll right on your foot. I mean, me know where him head there. Gears him a gears.
But then Casemiro just did that the other day for Man U.
Then why think Casemiro has so much fire right now? See, but Casemiro a big man. Michael Hector was a young boy in time there, and I don't see the improvement from then until now. I mean, he had to see him all the other day in the Copa America. The man look last, like the event too big for him.
Yeah.
So me no like Michael Hector in my back line. Seriously, I don't like the brother. I don't like him. I wish them would have never played.
Well, I used to be like but I watched Hector play up close when I went to Florida and during COVID, and he's not a bad player. He's slow now. He's slow down, but he's not a bad player.
Listen, man don't have a team. But the team that sign him. Any team sign him right now?
I don't think he has a team as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what that have to say?
But no people not on team sometimes. We can say Ravel not have team and Ravel a big baller. You think you know say Ravel a big baller, right?
I'm kind of surprised that Ravel still him do our team because
Exactly.
Ravel
Sometimes it depends.
Ravel was touted as the next top midfielder, you know.
Yes.
Playmaker, a man who's supposed to create chance. Like man like City big baller name, man. De Bruyne.
Yeah.
He must be a player like De Bruyne. So I don't understand how Ravel don't have a team now.
Well, Ravel has had some challenges in his life, and that manifests itself on the football field in terms of him being able to settle one club or showing the discipline that he needs to and the professionalism he needs to. And it hasn't worked out for him over time. And your career go quickly in football, you know? You could be a prodigy one day and also run the next day. And he hasn't taken advantage of his talent. He hasn't. That's not debatable. So but I would love to see him in the team because I think he had value. If I pick in the midfield and Ravel is here, Ravel starts for me. Whether he starts in the 10 or the 6 or the 8, doesn't matter. He just starts.
So you saying can play any one of those?
Yeah. Because you know what? As a 6, he may not be the best tackler, but he's going to control the game. As a 10, he has the creativity to help to get the ball forward. And as an 8, he's going to be spraying passes, but he may not have the energy to go up and down the field. But he tries. So, yeah.
That next thing, midfielders have to be fit, you know, and ready.
Yes, they do. And but most of these players are playing in leagues where they have to be fit. I mean, Lowe plays in the MLS, so they may not be as fit as the. But if you're playing in England, you're playing anywhere in Europe nowadays.
I'm going to Saudi.
It's supposed to go to Saudi. Yeah. I'm going to Saudi. I'm going to Saudi. So
I'm not going to reach it.
And Saudi are money moving on. So.
Then I'm gonna
if you want a loan, call Damien. I'm just kidding, people. Don't take it. Don't kill Kranky. Come and say that. But if you got Saudi, I don't think Jamaica tax any worldwide income. People don't realize that. To me, the whole Saudi thing is the non-tax element of it. Me not even focus on the number, the non-tax element, which is me not pay taxes. The money out double. Want the money? Yeah. Someone Jura says there already. So yeah, huh?
When you take that money from the Middle East there, Saudi Arabia, and bring it come into your country, they not tax it, so.
Some countries don't tax you on worldwide income. So the normal process is that the US tax you on worldwide income. So no matter anywhere you go, you make money, US will tax you. But if you're from most other countries and you work overseas, they would expect you to pay tax in the jurisdiction where you are, so they wouldn't tax you, right? Very few countries do it. So, but they have to meet some criteria, like you have to stay out of the country for a certain period of time. So most people go work, in a Middle East, them go for the money and no taxes. So they take home twice what they normally take home, or 3 times. In Ivan Tony's case, it's probably about 10 to 20 times what him normally make. You can't beat that.
I'm gonna make some money, I'm getting paid here.
Yeah, I'm getting paid there. So
me just vex him, gonna make England look cap him and end him international career.
Yeah, I mean,
and
I think that was mentioned. The Pinnock. Someone was asking that Pinnock yesterday. I forgot what his answer was, but I think Pinnock's management interview with Pinnock is very revealing to me in some respects, which is the whole heritage thing, and him basically saying the individual make a decision, and some people want to play for where their parents are from. Yeah. So yeah. All right, sir. I always appreciate the call.
Yeah, man. Respect, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Bless up. Boy, in a rough, in a chat, in a rough. Someone beat me sometime, Where did somebody say? Somebody said me too aggressive and me too impatient. That's why me can't get no subscriber. No, I only chat now and subscribe and hit the like button. And nothing to do with me being impatient. Somebody at work just tell me that yesterday. I'll read it again because someone up on the chat. Somebody at my old job, a very senior person, I'll read it for you so I can't hear. So this person who's on YouTube is not a fake. I'm going to try to find it. You know what he said? A friend of mine, I must say, because I said it outside this program, I say it again. They said they subscribed to my channel today because they just got the link. I'm not sure it's a good thing for them to get the link. They must see another side of me. And he said, I watched some of your videos. It is so you. So, Clary, when I hear about say, boy, I'm stay, people in the carpet were telling me, see me to stay. See what up on my mind when I bite my tongue. Can't bite my tongue. If you bite your tongue, you bleed. Me not bite my tongue, Claudine. That's some stay. But me there home abroad, and you hear me go on, I see him some stay. I can't cut up myself in any environment anyway. I mean, if he hear me get vexed and express myself a certain way, I some stay. I hope they don't pass it. I'm gonna tell them so don't pass around too much people in the corporate environment. No one realize why I talk the same way in the public domain. But yes, people, I'm getting ready to click off. I want to say this, people, which is this. I'm back here tomorrow, back again, as troops would say, at 7 p.m. US time, 6 p.m. Jamaica time, for an hour pregame show for Jamaica versus Cuba. I'm looking forward to the game. I'm looking forward to our style of play, because I didn't hear one today. I want to see what we do. I assume that this may not be the starting lineup. I don't think Kira is going to start. I think he's going to play a more conservative team, a more seasoned team, but I expect Lowe to be on the field. All right? I expect Lowe to be on the field. There's no way I think Lowe is not going to be on the field. What I was saying, Kranky Live likes more than person on the stream. This message reaching the masses. Yeah, I would hope so. I'm hoping so. People with the numbers. I'm tired of making $1 an hour, people. That's slavery money. Okay? You guys are not helping me. Stop telling me something don't need the money. Everybody need money. Well, no. There's a difference between need and want. Some people need money, some people want money. Me want the money. Okay, let me make a claim, people. Whatever money me make on YouTube, I don't need some of that money. Well, you can't donate 50. I figure it out. But whatever money me make on YouTube, I'm part of it for some initiative in Jamaica, whatever it is. I'll figure it out. I figure it out. And then I show receipts and me do it. Because I don't want to stay as a boy here, Kranky. I try to get people to send their money now. That's why I'm going to. I'm not asking to spend no money. I'm not asking for no super chat. I'm asking for likes and subscription. That's how I'm asking people. I'm not asking no super chat. I'm not asking for your money. Likes and subscribe, which are free, by the way. You don't have to pay for them. All right? But I'll close off by saying, I appreciate you being here. Click the like button before you go. Please hit the subscribe button because the likes alone not going to work. You have to see the number go up. All right? Hit the like button. I appreciate you being here. If I'm miserable, I grew up with my great-grandmother. So forgive me, but she was also very miserable, by the way. And she was born in, and she lived long enough. She was born, I'm not going to tell when she born, because I don't know, so a long time she born, though, long time she born. She died now. But she always embedded me a couple of things. One is, read your book, read your book, read your book. I don't know what read your book means. You have to study, read a book. So I do that with people that won't be managed to. Whenever I need them, so I beat them every day. Go in your book, 3 or 4 hours a day, you have to do it, you have to do it, you have to do it. So I preach that on. Whatever discipline you're in, put in the work. Not just work, but put in the smart work. You can't just work, playing so. And those of you who made it on the corner, come up by the corner sometime. When I go back to Jamaica and see people, I see people on the corner for about 10, 15, 25 years. Me go by place, I see them corners. They never move. Because I see them corner, they don't move a day for the last 25 years. People can't live so. Everybody have an opportunity to do well in life. Work on yourself. Look for what you're doing, what you're not doing. But the educated are not in a matter. You can't do well. All right, people. I see Michael Woodburn saying Jamaica 4. Jamaica 4, Cuba 0. And he did say a number of the kids from the under 20 team have matriculated to the senior team for Cuba. So, and we have senior players playing the highest level of league in the world. So I expect us to have a good game and play them well. But the last time we played Dominican Republic, we didn't play that well with a decent team. So my hope is that we play well. So everybody, let me say this. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you being here. Please join me tomorrow, 7 p.m. US time, 6 p.m. Jamaica time for my watch along. And enjoy you being here. Enjoy the camaraderie. Enjoy the engagement. Even those of you who beat me, beating if it happens sometime. Because you can't be a YouTuber beat people and I want to get beaten. Right? This is giving back for me. No. Why you giving the money so me can give back so me come out to my pocket. So you know some money talk. Can I say give back free conversation. Plus, the other thing when I get the free thing, YouTube pay me. Only not pay me, not YouTube pay me. Through what means? I'll buy some tickets. And through what means though? Tell me. I'll buy some tickets. Not an issue. I'll buy some tickets, so we can do that, actually. I know Kyle is doing something. I should have talked to Kyle now. I know Kyle is in Jamaica, and I know he wants to have the band play and all that. And we went to a meeting the other day to talk about that actually in Queens. And Kyle, I think, got engaged with JFF. So look out for Kyle. They're going to be outside the stadium and inside the stadium tomorrow. So look out for Kyle, people. Yeah, Owen. I'd love to do that, Owen. So let me know how. All right. But if you buy a ticket, if you know the people can get the ticket and come, the money going in people's pocket. We can use the $100 YouTube give me, even though we have to pay a tax per half, right? I'm buy a ticket them. But anyway, people, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Please hit the like button before you go out. I'm gonna send you out with my hit song. Because somebody will say, yeah, hit song, hit our ears art. Hit our ears art. That's what it does. I'm gonna tell you my hit song and come back tomorrow, people. CM time, CM place, CM vibes, and I'll see you tomorrow evening. Bless up, good night, and thanks. Appreciate you. Bye. Kranky life is the best to be now. For the best sports talk and it's free, yo. Kranky life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Kranky life, tell them. Kranky life, heed them. Kranky life, want them. Kranky life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Kranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Kranky life, tell them. Kranky life, heed them. Kranky life, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Kranky life, get to know the name because Kranky analysis is never lame. Kranky life, give me my Kranky life. I want my Kranky life. Must have my Kranky life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Kranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Kranky life. Tell them Kranky life. Heed them Kranky life. Want them Kranky life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Kranky Live. Tune into Kranky Live. Like up Kranky Live. Subscribe to Kranky Live. Kranky Live coming to you on weekdays. Kranky Live sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Kranky will always bring the heat. Kranky Live. Me say fi tell them Kranky life. Me say fi heed them Kranky life. On them Kranky life. Kranky life will be around. Kranky life is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them, Kranky life. Kranky life. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life. Kranky. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, heed them.